because I forgot to turn the monetization on the other one. So pay that no attention.
Oh, oh, okay. I was like, I might have been late. She probably got tired of waiting on me.
Mm. I wasn't doing nothing. I was sitting here folding clothes, but I'm just going. I wasn't saying anything, so I'm just gonna delete it. But no, it's fine. That was my fault. So
Okay.
what's been going on?
Ooh, I've been recuperating.
Recuperate from the event and all that.
Mm-hmm. I was
Well,
tired.
first tell us about the event.
Well, the event was amazing. It was like everything I said it was gonna be. So that was super exciting. I was dang near emotional the next day, like seeing all the recaps and stuff like that. So it turned out well. We had a good turnout. We had dancers, we had a fashion show, we had live music, and then we had like wine tastings in the lounge because there's like a little lounge area in the venue. So it was popping. It was just the level of bouge that I needed. All of my vendors seemed happy. You know, they made their money and stuff like that. So I definitely think every time I do it, it'll be a little easier to get support. You know what I mean? To put it together. So it was a lot of
Yeah,
fun. It was a lot of fun.
that's good.
Yeah, it was
That's
fun.
good.
There was like stairs going up to the venue, so we really put a lot into it. Like when you walk up the stairs, there were like motion censored lights and poppies on the walls and stuff. Like, you know, you going down the yellow brick road to Emerald City. We had a photographer to take pictures of everybody coming in, so they was feeling like celebrities in their green. Everybody really dressed for the theme, which I was super excited about because it was like, put it on.
You know
You
how
seem
people are
good.
nowadays, honey. They
They
don't put
put it
no clothes
on.
on nowadays. People act like, especially the men. The men won't put on clothes for nothing, but that's because these women is dating these men. I'm sorry, you can't take me nowhere, and it's like we not deep into a relationship, and you got on tennis shoes. No, I'm gonna need you to put on a hard bottom shoe, sir.
I like that. So
But
we
yeah, I
had some
feel you.
hard bottom
I'm glad that
shoes.
everybody, did you put out a dress code or
Yeah, on the flyers
okay?
and stuff, it was either, and also all of the promotions that I did, I was in green and I wasn't just
Hey,
in
Jess.
regular old green. I was in some type of dressed up, elevated look. Like, so I'm showing y'all the look that I'm
Okay,
going
good.
for, and I think it
Well,
worked out. It was
I'm glad the people, adhere to, because sometimes people, so back in the day, I used to be into, well, I won't say back in the day, I'm still into it now, but not as much. But I used to be in the Chicago stepping and stuff. And back in the day, when you went to a steppers contest or a steppers ball, you had to be dressed. You couldn't. Child,
mhm.
I looked recently. Child, I mean, some people be dressing, but these tennis shoes, no, what you can't. I just look. I say, okay, y'all supposed to be ballroom dancing. Y'all got on tennis shoes.
That's out of order.
Ho ho ho.
Somebody at the door.
Sir, I'm in.
That baby jump. Mama, where we going? Who at the door? If you guys are in here, I cannot see you or your comments because we're on StreamYard. So, but thank you for joining us. It's been a long time. Feels like a long time since me and Diva went live together. And I'm excited. I missed you guys. I missed our Sundays together.
Uh, I think Janet has said something, Janet, in here, but y'all don't mind me. I'm having some work done, honey, but it's gonna have to get done. I shall be right back. But I saw that y'all got 33 degrees. What happened?
Well, look, I guess Houston must have caught up, child, because it is December. But it only went down to 33 degrees. I think maybe a few hours, maybe 3 hours. And I wasn't too concerned, but I do have some stuff that is more like frost sensitive, like the sour side. I don't even know about my pink guava, but I planted it from seed and I don't want it to die, so I covered it up. And I know the pineapple guava is the most cold hardy, and I don't have that one anymore. So I covered that one up. The star fruit, Barbados cherry, and my key lime, because I did have a key lime die in the cold before. But that cold was down. I think that year it went down to like 16 degrees. And I tried to wrap it with a blanket and stuff, and still ended up dying. So everything seemed to come out pretty well. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a more.
I
I want to do a
when I
more.
seen it was 33, I said you had a couple of things that I probably was worried about, but I see y'all covered them up real good.
Yeah, I think it worked out. You
Yeah.
know, makeshift overnight cold, and now the weather. I haven't seen going down to 33 or anything like that in the 10-day forecast, which would give us time to do something a little more permanent, I guess, for the cold. Because I don't plan on bringing all my trees. Anybody that watched me last year know half my garden was in the garage.
It was living the plush
The
life.
winter time. Yeah, but it's harder because they don't get as much sun there. Not that it's super sunny in the winter, but they do feel the lack of sun. It's a lot of transition to try to pull them all the way in the garage, then bring them all the way back out, especially if their roots have gone down into the ground. Because even though some of my trees are in pots,
Yeah.
some of their roots have, gone further than that. I'm not putting them in the ground because I don't have space and I still want to take them with me. But
Yeah.
for now, I'm like, while we
It's
here,
gonna
I'm
have
gonna
to
try to keep them more comfortable outside.
it's gonna have to be what it be. Janet, y'all ain't seen the videos yet, but we went down to 21. So the videos y'all been seeing with my garden looking beautiful with all them peppers and stuff. The callaloo gone, the peppers gone, the tomatoes gone. It's all gone.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that time of
That's the
year.
cycle of life. And to
Yeah.
me, it's like it's dang near January 1st. Like I'm about to start
Yeah.
sowing seeds for my tomatoes and peppers for the spring anyway. So it's kind
Hmm.
of like there's life and death in the garden. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's
Yeah.
time, it's okay.
And I'm gonna show y'all. I did well, when I say my peppers are gone, I'm gonna be clear about what I'm saying. I They're still gonna overwinter. I believe they're still gonna come back. The stems are fine. It's just that all of the foliage and stuff that's gone. So,
Yeah.
but y'all know how I do. I do that just about every year, and y'all know the tomatoes. It was just time to just let them go because the day it went down to 21, girl, it it by the time the sun went down, like basically right at sunset, it was already 32 degrees. And the sun sets at
Oh,
5:36. So at 6 o'clock, if it's already 32 degrees all
it's gonna
night,
be
hey,
cold.
growing what I eat, all night it was gonna be uh cold. So I knew then, I said all of those hours below freezing. So I pulled into the greenhouse what I wanted to pull into the greenhouse. I went on ahead and pulled that African basil up out of the pot, the planter that it was in, and I put it in a pot and put it in the greenhouse. And then I covered what I wanted to cover. I did not cover the tomatoes and stuff. And like I said, y'all will see the video, but I'm just giving y'all a precursor. But yeah, like I said, I saved what I wanted to save, and then the rest of it, it was just time to let it go. I still need to harvest my sweet potatoes. I've got to get on that. But every time I get ready to do it, the weather want to play me. It'll rain every time I get, and it's not
Mm,
like it says it's going to rain. It says no rain. As soon as I get my pitchfork and get ready to go out there, here
it's
come
kind
the
of
rain. I say I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. This is ridiculous. But I'm gonna get out there and get those sweet potatoes. Whatever's out there. I don't. I just need to dig them up and see what's out there.
yeah. I'm trying the same thing. Like when it does get cold, I would say 20 and below is when I start to really be concerned too. Because even
Yeah.
I've had Broccoli died. I didn't know. Everybody say broccoli cold hardy is cold hardy. Baby, it went down to 16
And
degrees and my
yeah,
broccoli's died.
that's a big
And
no.
now all I got to
16
do
is
is
good.
throw a grow bag on top of the broccoli if it
Yeah,
goes down that cold and it will live. But those are things
yeah.
that you need to know. Like, at what degree do you start worrying about who? My peppers, I'm
Yeah.
doing the same thing. I've been mulching the roots, just
Hmm.
throwing comfrey and mulch and plant matter that I done trimmed off of other stuff, and I just throw it down there at the bottom of all my peppers that's in my bed. And so I'm doing the same as you, hoping that they just pop back out in the
Yeah.
spring. Other ones that I have, my sweet tart peppers are in a stackable planter, and they did really well in that stackable planter. I don't know if they will be able to overwinter in there, so I'm actually taking pieces of them off, just like how we do tomatoes, and rooting them. And one of them worked, so I'm gonna do that and put it in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Put a piece off and planted it, and it got leaves now. I
Talking
said, "Well,
about
I'm gonna put y'all
a
in the
little piece of
greenhouse."
pepper.
Yep.
I started to do that. I started to take cuttings because people oh no, they back there playing. They know they ridiculous.
Uno
Him and his sister,
Uno is the
look, you
vocal
see him
one.
running past me. Him and his sister just crazy. But anyway, I started because people, they're under the illusion that these pepper plants will not grow roots on those stems if you take cuttings. Yes, they will. And I
Yes, they
started
will.
to do that. Take cuttings and show people. Stop thinking that these peppers, you can take cuttings off of this to say it's a nightshade, just like a tomato. I don't know many nightshades that you can't do that. You can do it with eggplants. You can do it with tomatillos, ground cherries, tomatoes, peppers. But nobody ever really says anything about the peppers. They're under the assumption that you can't do that, but you can.
Yeah, I've
Goji
never
berries as
seen anybody
well.
do it with
Goji
peppers
berries is nightshade
before.
too. Yeah, so and I'm glad you did it. I hope you show your results of the little cuttings that you took, so
Yep,
you
I
can show
will.
these people. Because see, I didn't get a chance to do it before the frost took my stuff. So,
Yeah.
but no,
Yep.
it's
And
good.
what
It
gave
shows
me
you
the idea was because the peppers was doing so well, but I don't know, a piece broke off and I said, "Oh, I was hurt." I don't know why I was hurt because it's life and death in the garden. I said, "Oh, this is a good piece." And I
yeah.
stuck it in the other stackable planter where it was an empty space, and I took care of it like it had roots. Baby, if that
Hmm.
thing didn't start growing, I said, "Listen, I'm not starting from, I will still start seeds, but how many more pepper plants will I have if I overwinter the ones in the bed? If I go ahead and take a cutting of the ones that I'm not sure can survive, because if it's in the stackable planter, the roots are kind of exposed when it's cold. You know what I mean? Unless I cover that whole stackable planter." So that
Hmm.
was my concern. I'm like, I got the greenhouse sitting on the porch. You know how I do my seeds. I start my seeds right there in the greenhouse on the porch. Those little pepper cuttings can go right there in the
Yeah,
greenhouse, and I can just bust them back out in the springtime. I'm telling everybody.
and not only that, you're not starting all the way from seed. There's nothing wrong with starting peppers from seed. However, anybody that's grown peppers knows that sometimes, especially depending on the type of pepper, they take so long and they really don't take off until it gets to a certain temp outside. Yeah, you can put them on a heat mat, you can do all that, and that works. But we all know that the peppers don't really take off into those temperatures. But we be trying to start our peppers in January and stuff. Well, if you're starting from a cutting, it's just like when I tell people to overwinter, they take off so much faster. They get, you
Yep,
have less time to wait for them to start giving you peppers. Because I
that's
know
it.
some people, when you start from seed, even though they start those seeds in January, they may not start giving peppers until April or May because of the temps. But if you start from a cutting or overwinter pepper, y'all seen in my garden when I overwinter, it don't be long. Them suckers be making peppers. Because the root
Mm-hmm.
system is already established. It doesn't have to, wait on all that other stuff. And I wanted to mention this right quick. So while we've been away, Aisha's been having her event, and her sister had a birthday. Happy birthday, sister. And
Happy birthday.
and So I had some stuff going on. It's a young lady. She decided that she wanted some of her advocacy work that she wanted to do in the community was she wanted to plant some gardens at the housing authority. So those of y'all that's familiar, y'all know the housing authority. The word we use is projects. That's at
Yeah.
the projects. But so she had been in talks with the person at the housing authority. She had gotten soil samples and everything to determine where they wanted to plant, because her idea was to make it so that people that are in public housing have access right on the grounds to
To
fresh
healthy food.
food. Yeah. So I just so happened to run into her. And she found out that I was with the advocacy group, and she asked us, was we doing anything? I said, no, but I want to get started doing some gardening things. And so me and her are going to team up on some things. But in the meantime, in between time, so she's young, she's getting her degree. I forget, it's something dealing with agriculture, horticulture, or something like that. But I just want to let y'all know the misinformation is real, y'all. So I sat down with the young lady, and she said she was thinking about putting blueberries on the, and now that full disclosure, the young lady is white, and we know who the majority of the people is in public housing. It's some white people, but it ain't majority of it is us and Hispanic.
By design.
Yeah. But she wants to put blueberries, and I'm not saying that black people don't eat blueberries, but my thought was this, which I think we should put blueberries, but I found it very interesting when I mentioned to her, I said, yeah, there are some fruit trees that we could do. Figs and mulberries are probably my top. And her response to me is, yeah, but on a mulberry, you have to wait 7 years before you get fruits. And when she said that, I looked at her like she was crazy. I said, who told you had to wait 7 years to get fruit? She's in school. This is what they have told her at her university.
At school?
Yes. They
Damn, I didn't
told
think
her
it was
that it
gonna be
takes
at
7 years.
school.
I told her, I said, come on, baby, let's take a ride. She got in the car with me. I said, look at these dwarf everbearing mulberries. They're tiny. They make fruit. They made fruit this past year. They don't have fruit on them. I said, I just did these cuttings last year. She said, oh, well, why did they tell me it takes 7 years? I said, I have no clue why they told you that foolishness. And then she saw some of my fig trees. She said, how old are these trees? 10 years? I said, no. I said, some of these cuttings I did last year, some of them are 2 or 3 years old. I said, but no. She said, but they don't make figs, do they? I said, yes, they do. Every last one of them makes figs. The only fig tree I have that doesn't make figs is the one that Clausen World gave me. And I want to say she gave it to me in January. Hey, baby. I want to say she gave it to me in January or December. And it is, of course, it's not making figs, because when she gave it to me, it was a stick this big. But I'm saying this to say, I don't really know why they're giving out, in my opinion, misinformation / disinformation, because this girl is paying for an education. And basically, when she left my garden, she could not believe. I said, and she asked me, she said, well, do you have a degree in agriculture? I said, no. I said, I have a biology degree. I said, I said, did we take botany?
Experience.
Yeah. I said, did we take botany? Yeah, we took botany. I said, no, but what you're witnessing is, I said, this is generations of knowledge that was passed down to me. I said, now, when I was a kid, I wasn't looking for the information, but I soaked it up via osmosis. And also what you're witnessing is also experience. Because I'll take what my granny or grandmother told me and what uncles and things tell me, and I'll do it, and I'll see what it is. And some things I keep and some things I don't, because some stuff they was doing is irrelevant. Like, to the way that I garden, it's irrelevant. So that's why I think it's important for everybody to figure out how you're going to garden and things. See,
And your
even
resources
growing what
and
I
stuff
eat
gonna
is
be
saying,
different too.
yeah, growing what I eat is saying some mulberries produce the first year or the second. He's right, because everbearing, those dwarf everbearing, they will produce the first year. Now, some types like Pakistan, no, not the first year, but it's still not 7 years like they're telling this young lady. They're telling this, and I don't know if they're talking about, there's an Illinois mulberry, maybe that one takes 7, But
Maybe
in
from
my
seed
experience,
all the way from seed
and that's
to.
what I'm wondering, are they talking about seeds or cuttings? Because that's another thing. Look at this.
I
Churchill
feel like they
Downs.
have to be talking about from seed, right? They have
That
to.
I hope so, because from cutting, I don't know a mulberry that from cutting takes 7 years.
Well,
Most
technically, a
cutting,
cutting thinks it's the same age as the big tree. It is,
exactly,
right? So it's
exactly.
going to
So a
produce
lot of
just like.
times when you take a cutting after it roots, give it a few months. It's sometime it'll push fruit if it's the right time of year. If it's spring, it'll push fruit.
Yeah, cuttings think
So
they grown.
yeah, yeah. They growing, they outside. So
They outside.
but yeah, so y'all be careful out here. I'm not saying everybody's giving misinformation, but always my thing is to tell people your experiences. And if you have not experienced it, go out and experience it and then say something, because people will regurgitate and say things they have no clue what the hell they're talking about. They just
Well, I
repeating
think
what somebody said.
unfortunately, I don't. I think unfortunately, being educated here doesn't mean that you know things. It means you
No.
pay for a
Mm-mm,
degree and you went to class. But
mm-mm.
I don't even think the education system is set up for us to really know and thrive off of the stuff that we're getting for real. It could just be me, but by design, like especially from elementary to high school, that was
No.
definitely designed to create workers, not critical thinkers, not people who go out and test this knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and come back with their own conclusions. Like we really are just spoon fed whatever. And if we don't look elsewhere for any type of knowledge from other people who have experience
Hey,
or
Roro.
from books that we find on our own, not just the books that they're telling us to read, we'll never get anywhere because educated does not equal knowledge at this
Mm-mm.
point. It really doesn't.
No, no,
And
there's
it
a
sucks
difference.
because people think it does. Like the educated people really think they like, well, I got my degree, and I'm like, okay, but the garden told me.
And I'm gonna be honest and tell you that the educated people that are meaning is some of my friends have PhDs, but they are the types that honestly they know that pretty much they got their PhD because they wanted to get into academia and teach, and that's what you have to do. But they also teach their students differently. They tell them all the time, you can't just rely on the degree or whatever. You have to, it's more to it than that. You have hands on, you have
Most people who
experience.
are actually educated do continued education, right? So it's
Hmm.
not like I got my degree now I know everything. They're
Uh-huh.
continuously learning about their
Yeah,
field, looking for knowledge, trying to gain experience. They can be honest when they
yeah.
find something that may have
They
contradicted,
go
you know
against,
what I
yeah.
mean, what
What's
they
up, David?
thought. But we've got those, and then we've got people that's like, I got my degree, so I know
Yeah.
everything. So you
Hmm.
definitely know nothing. If you think you know
Yeah.
everything, you the
You
dumbest
know
one in the
absolutely
room.
nothing. What's up, Jewel Oliver?
Hey y'all,
It's
thanks for
good to see
joining
all
me.
of y'all. It's 13 people on the live, girl. 13 people.
Okay,
Hmm.
what up? First day back.
Apparently, apparently the people was ready. How y'all holidays going? Yeah, a lot of people are closed minded, David.
Yeah,
They have no desire. I'm a perpetual student.
me too.
I can't, you can learn something at any turn. You know what I
And
mean?
and I'm quick to say I don't know too. You ask me something I don't know, I'm not about to lie and fake like I know
Wait
or
a minute.
this
I don't
or
know.
that.
I don't
Cause
know.
why? For what?
Mhm.
If I say I don't know, you might explain it to me, and I might know a little bit more by the time this conversation is over. Or I can stay at the level that I was and fake it. Like what's the point?
Exactly.
I think a lot of people feel like they have to know everything, and they fake. I'll give you a perfect example. Me and my husband went to get some food. We went to an Indian restaurant and got
Hey,
some
Green Eye
food.
Beauty.
They had a bar in the Indian restaurant. I said, babe, I ain't never seen a bar in the Indian restaurant. So we
Mm-hmm.
go over there, we looking at the menu or whatever, and I normally like a sidecar. He likes a old fashioned. That guy made whatever just came to his mind. It wasn't nothing close to a sidecar. It wasn't nothing close to an old fashioned. Instead of saying, I'm the bartender's not here right now,
Or he just
I'm
winging
not
it?
sure. He just
Let me
went.
ask you this: was he being fancy? Was he shaking the stuff and pouring and shaking,
No,
making
he
like he
looked no, he looked
he didn't
confused.
even fake it. He didn't even fake
No,
it.
he did not. But what he could have done was looked up the recipes,
Hmm.
or he could have said, "Hey guys, the bartender's not here right now, but we do have wine. You don't have to make wine, sir. You don't have
Yeah,
to make wine. You just pour it. Or
pour
we
it,
do
just
have
pour.
beer, or what?" Like honesty, because I'm never going to that bar again. Like,
Okay,
why do we fake like we know stuff? That does not make you
when you
successful.
when you got the drink, did did I'm sure the look on your face was priceless when you got the drink. And did he ever address? He never said. Oh, okay. He has a PhD in physics, I'm sure. He has a
Sure.
PhD in physics. He just bartending. He said, I'm winging it tonight. I'm winging it.
I said, why is it so hard for us to say, I'm not sure how to make this?
And like you said, just look it up. Just look. I don't understand. This society has a thing with I don't know if it's shaming people or embarrassing people or whatever, or maybe you think you look stupid by saying I don't know. But see, if I was in that position, I'd have been like, girl, let me tell you something. I ain't the bartender. I said, oh, let me go down on this phone.
Me
You say you want a
too.
what? Let me look up how
Me
to do it.
too. I'd have been speaking like so you knew when I put it in front of you that I tried. Like, listen, if this ain't
Yeah.
it, maybe I'll
Like
give you some
Google
wine or
say,
something. I ain't gonna charge you for both, but let me try
mhm,
something. And
Google
then it's a
say this
genuine
what I'm supposed to
interaction
do.
too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Why would he give up himself in 2025? David, crazy. Look, almost 2026. He gonna
It's
keep
almost
on doing the same thing. David say they just do whatever to make money. He said 2025, we all winners, no losers.
they do whatever to make money, but then you don't realize that you've lost money. Like I'm never going to your bar
And you
again. Like you
probably
could
you
have had a
probably won't
repeat customer
recommend
if you were honest.
you
Could have had a
probably
repeat
won't
customer
recommend
if
that
you poured
anybody
me
go
some
there.
wine. No, exactly. The food was good, but the bar I was like, whoa. And I could have just got water. Like y'all don't need to have a bar. I never seen a bar in an Indian restaurant, and maybe that's why y'all don't have them.
I mean, I haven't either. I never even questioned it. That's a good question as to why, because I know they drink alcohol in India. I know they do, but I
Yeah.
don't. I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe they don't want to pay for somebody to go to bartending class, because there are classes for that. There's someone
That
that'll teach
yes,
you how
yes,
to do that.
mixology and all of that stuff. If you get deep into it,
hmm
but so do you have any plans for Christmas or?
I was just gonna ask you and the chat. I'm hyped. Okay, tell me if you was hyped the first time you had like collard greens or something ready for a holiday.
Oh, you talking about
This
like you
not my first
grew 'em,
time, but
like you
yes,
grew 'em?
this
Yeah.
my second
Well,
time
let me tell you something. I got some
having
greens
enough
out there,
collard
just as
greens
pretty.
in the garden for Christmas, and I'm hyped.
I got some greens out there just as pretty. I got some mustards, turnips, and collards. You ain't gonna be able to tell me shit.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So this year, so
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I feel like I need to spend more time with my family. I feel like I'm consumed. I'm always with my husband family, always. And they always just speaking Evo around me. So like half the time I ain't even having fun. Child. So I was like, before they Christmas, whatever they doing, I'm gonna have my mom and my sister. Also, my mom goes out of town because she's from Missouri and
Yeah,
she
she
has
go
siblings
visit
out
your
there.
people. Hmm.
Yeah, and she takes care of some of her siblings. Like one of my aunties has MS and stuff like that. And my mom is the best sibling, hands down, out of all of them. Like she is
Yeah.
going to care for you. So she's gone a lot of the times, which also made it easy for me to just go do whatever, the other family was doing. But this year, she will be in town. My sister will be off. My dad is here too. So I'm gonna cook a little something. I picked my tomatoes because I didn't know how the cold was gonna do. So I got like green tomatoes in the fridge. So we're gonna do some fried green tomatoes because that's something my mama grew up on. I'm gonna do collard greens and stuff from the garden. I think my daughter's gonna do red beans and rice and the cornbread, and I'm still figuring it out, but I'm quite excited to have some healthy stuff, from the garden. I even one of my friends, her mom is not feeling well, or she's got some stuff going on, and she's been in and out of the hospital. And I had dehydrated some moringa, and I gave her some moringa. Like I'm really just finding joy in the food that's coming out of my garden and being able to provide, what I mean, for family and friends, some healthy food. Like I'm so hyped. I'm taking pictures of my greens and my fried green tomatoes.
Let me read some of these comments right quick. David say, let me go down. I already read that one. David say, if the food was good, girl, just go back for food and not the happy hour.
I
Then he said the red mustard's looking fire. That's what David said. And
am.
he said your mom's a great sibling. And then Roro Latrice said Missouri. Roro, you from Missouri?
Missouri.
The show me state.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that
Yeah, my
sounds like
mom.
it's gonna be good. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. I always cook a dinner at my house because she from Kansas City. I cook a dinner at my house because I like to have what I like whatever I feel like eating. I want what I want, but then I'll visit family members, and you get a little piece here and there. But
Yeah.
when I come home, I have what
That's
I want.
another thing too. When I was talking to Anaya, my oldest, this morning about dinner, she was like, "Ooh, so we're gonna have a real like for real like soul food Christmas." Cause when we go to mommy and them house, baby, we still
Oh
eating
yeah.
stew. You still
What?
about to eat stew. You're gonna eat the
Yeah.
same stuff we eat, jollof rice.
Yeah.
It's not. And one time I cooked collard greens and nobody ate them. I was like, let me pack my collard greens back home.
Did they even try them? Yeah. See, and that be my problem because real talk, the idea that they didn't look at those collard greens and see that the way we cook collard greens is exactly how when the first time I ever seen Africans cook any greens, if you watch them cook sweet potato greens, any of them greens, they cook them the same damn way. What they do, wash them, cut them up, put some smoke, but they usually use either dried or smoked fish. They don't really
Yeah,
use
yeah.
pork.
They
But it's
like
the same
stockfish.
concept, and the idea that they didn't even taste it, and it probably tastes about like how they stuff tastes. Like,
Wasn't even open to it. I will give you one more. We went to a wedding. One of our cousins got married, but she married somebody black.
mm-hmm,
Like she's Nigerian. Okay, so she Nigerian, but then she married
mm-hmm,
somebody black. So their
mm-hmm.
food was a mix. And
Okay.
none of my siblings, in-law siblings, even tried the greens there either. I'm like, y'all ain't even open, but it's closed, sis. So I don't know.
They
I packed
rough,
my
girl.
greens back
They
home.
rough. I'm trying to be respectful, but them sound like the kind of Nigerians I wouldn't fool with.
Yeah, listen. I just posted this morning, like only genuine relationships going forward that pour back into me, and that includes family because so we had our neighbor's mom passed away, which is super sad. So the ladies that danced in my event, there was three sisters.
Mm-hmm.
My husband knew them from this organization that we have out here. It's all black organization. They do stuff like summer program. Like when I was a little girl, I used to go to Say Hi in the summertime. He went and studied under Baba Shango, who did like martial arts, stuff like that. And so he had met them through there. But also where mommy lives, their mom is the neighbor. So where
Mm-hmm.
mommy lives, big uncle used to live in that house, then mommy bought it. So they've been the neighbors to the family for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
They danced in my event, and like 3 days later their mom passed away.
Mm.
Girl, I was just, ooh, I was hurt for them. So we went to the candlelight vigil and stuff like that. But
Okay.
anyway, y'all know I have a sister in law that kind of just came here from Nigeria this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she wanted to come to my event. She came to the candlelight vigil and she's like, "Oh, sis, you know, I'm sorry I missed it. I really wanted to come, but the other sister,
Mm-hmm.
the bigger in-law sister, had her doing my nephew's hair during the event. Like she was like, I wanted to come, but then she said I should do his hair. And when I got over there, it wasn't taken down. So then I had to take it down. Then I had to do it. And I was like, so there was no way for y'all to schedule both. And I've been working on this event. Baby, you know I've been working on this event for how long? If what's important to me is
See,
important to you, you would have found a way. But to me, that's lightweight hating. Like you like
it's
actively, because
disrespectful. It's
she's
high.
never came to anything that I've
Yeah,
done. She's never
it's high.
shared anything I've
It's
done.
highly
But
it's
now you
highly
keeping
disrespectful.
somebody else from trying to
Yeah.
come through. And girl, how you let her keep you? Because I would have been like, well, I already got my green dress. I don't know if you knew what Aisha's event was today, but I could do his hair tomorrow
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be at the event. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't have no hard feelings. I just notice and recognize, and I'm not gonna pour there.
Yeah, it's that's blatant disrespect. Point blank period. Because
Okay, thank you. Because I be
to be
thinking I'm
fair,
tripping
because
sometimes.
to be fair, I've met people like that, and some of them were Nigerian to be frank, and I didn't fool with them. Like my one of the African friends I had in school that we was real close. The reason why we got close is because and she was from Cameroon. She would cook foods. And I remember one time because I was at her apartment and she was in there cooking and we talking and she cooking and she noticed that I was really watching because that was the first time I had ever seen anybody African cook foods. So of course
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested. I'm looking, I'm not okay. So she gets something and put in and say, okay, what is that? Okay, what you call this? And she would say, well, in English, I said, no, I want to know what it's called in Cameroon in
What
your
you
language.
call it?
I want, and I don't want to know what it is in French either. I want to know what it is in your language. And she was like, oh. And so when she starts seeing, I said, oh, okay. And you do what now? And you do, and the more she cooked, I said, you know, this is just like how we made. It would be like, to be honest, a lot of Creole dishes and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean dishes are very. I said, hmm. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, you can really see where the slave ship stopped because our cooking stayed the same. We used ingredients that's local, but the techniques and the ideas and concepts stayed the same. Because jambalaya and stuff like that, that ain't nothing but jollof with meat in it. That's all that
Yeah.
is. They can play
Mm-hmm.
these games if they want. That's exactly what that is. Jambalaya is jollof with meat in it. Etouffee is real similar too. The only difference is etouffee is more like a sauce, but it's still the
Mm-hmm.
same concept. Tomato base with rice, you season it.
Yep.
So she was like, "Oh, you really?" And then she was like, "I've never had any Americans that even want to try the food." Because when she got through, I said, "Is it enough for me to sample?" She said, I've never had anybody want to try it. They look at it and say it look nasty. I said, nah, I want to know what this tastes like. And it was good. And then going forward, one time she was at my crib and I was cooking something. And she said, oh, well, let me taste what. So we were reciprocal. But I've met people who, no, that I'm not used to that. So, but let me be honest, I've met Americans like that too. Just like you know, back in the day, there was a guy, baby, we didn't make it very long because you're like a 3-year-old. Anytime we go to a restaurant, if it's not French fries and burgers, you act like you can't do nothing but a pizza. You know, your palate is like a 10-year-old. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm trying to date somebody grown. I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? So it's Americans like that too. I've met them and
Oh,
I can't,
absolutely. I
I
think
can't.
there are people in every culture that are like that. I just think that, and to be clear, I've learned that there were probably things in my personality, unhealed parts of me that came into this particular situation and family, like very much love me. Like I love him, he love me. Won't y'all just love me? I put on the clothes and I love the food. And child, I love the music. So half of it
Yeah,
wasn't even hard. What's hard
yeah,
is understanding that I can learn everything about you and you'll never learn anything about me. I could
Yeah.
show up for you and you will never show up for me. What's hard is, like I told my husband one time, I was like, every single one of your family members that has set foot on this landmass since we've been together has had support from me. From sharing my car to doing your nappy hair when it was matted to your head. Okay. Until you found your hairdresser. And but then y'all can't, you know what I mean? It's just me. Pouring. And as soon as we all get together, y'all forget about anything about my comfort, anything about like you've come here and haven't learned a thing. That to me sounded like actively working against. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why we would have that. I'm not sure why the little sister allowed that. And what's funny is that I'm the first wife. And so for Nigerians, there's supposed to be a hierarchy, right? The first wife is supposed to be head honcho queen. Y'all supposed to be, but we don't have that. And it's not that I'm looking for that, but dang, a little bit of support.
Girl, it must have been some details. It must have been the first Nigerian one, maybe.
I think so. Because even when mommy keeps saying that, I'm like, I don't think that's true in this family. Like, you're just saying it out loud, but nobody's acting like
you're not acting.
I'm
David
important.
crazy. David crazy. First of all, wait a minute. Okay. Hey, Lachelle.
Hey, Lachelle.
David crazy is I don't know what. This why you can't let David on the line because David crazy. He talking about first he said, where's Missouri? I just know Texas. Missouri is above Texas.
And Missouri is like up. It's like two states. Oh,
he bull crapping. David, one of the smartest dudes in these gardening streets. He know where Missouri is. He playing. Then he say, David said, wait, how many wives he got? Wait, David.
Okay,
let's explain. See, David, this is like a continuation from I don't think you heard the old
genuine. That's a genuine question, though, for real, David, because he could have. Okay, so let me be clear. So, my husband is one of 5 boys. Okay, I'm the first wife because we got married first. Yeah, so he's the second to youngest son in the family, but we were the first ones to get married. So the first wife, then when the second wife comes and the third wife comes, they supposed to be under me.
Well, wait a minute, hold on, let's go further. But David, they not in a polygynous relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
They're in a monogamous relationship. He's the first child to get married. Not me, because some people may think you mean like you looking for a sister wife.
Yeah.
Which we did talk about that in another. They don't have that type of relationship, but you're right. It's. I mean, some people.
It could be my husband's grandfather or great grandfather had a lot of wives. Like when we went home to Nigeria, everybody was a Nebuna. Everybody. I was like, "How you got so many of them?" Well, because he had, the great granddaddy had a whole bunch of wives. They had a whole bunch of kids. So it's a real legitimate question. Not for my setup, but for the culture, that could have been. So when I say first wife, second wife, third wife, I mean who got married first out of the brothers. So he's the second to youngest, but he got married first, which made me the first wife to come into the family. And so it means I help them when they come in. I welcome them, help plan, this and that. But also when I need support and things like that, they're supposed to be there to do that. And we just don't have that. And it's okay. I just think it's not okay to fake. Like, don't say, oh, the first wife, and the actions and all that don't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Go behind it. Like, let's just be honest. It's Lachelle, okay.
It's coming. Lachelle, it's coming real soon. I said something about it right before you came in. The weather. Every time I get ready to harvest my sweet potatoes, the weather. It plays.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know if y'all saw my sweet potatoes, but it was pretty much like last year. Somebody else thinking.
And you had some good ones in there too. Real good ones. Pretty potatoes. They was halfway ate up, but they was pretty though. They was hollowed out. They had hollowed them potatoes out. They left everything. The only thing they left was the peel.
They left a little piece for me to find it and know
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
gone. That's
yeah.
it. I said, dang, there must have been some good potatoes. And you know what? I tried because last year I kept waiting. I was like, okay, wait. This year, as soon as I thought they started eating them, I pulled them up and still they got
They
all
was
my
gone.
potatoes. So bless y'all, sweet potatoes. Those of y'all that got sweet potatoes this year. And if
You
you
know what
didn't, make sure
you know
y'all
what
eat the leaves because I eat the
yeah,
leaves
I do too.
all throughout the summertime. So it's not, it's not like a waste, but I would like both.
You know, I wonder, and this may not be easy for your setup. Like if you planted your sweet potatoes and then put chicken wire or something over the top so that they can't go down. Because the sweet
Mm,
potato leaves will grow up between the chicken wire, but hopefully they won't be able to go down and eat your potatoes. But
that's
I
a
don't
great
know
idea.
exactly how they getting in. I don't know if they getting in from the top, the side, or what.
I don't know either. My husband
Cause
got
see if
some
they
barbed
get see,
wire,
cause if
child.
they're burrowing in from up under, that chicken wire ain't gonna do a doggone thing. You know
That's
what I
true. And
mean?
that means I would have had to probably try to lay something down before I even made that bed, which I've seen people do before.
Yeah. To
Um,
prevent something from getting in. Girl, it's
and
just
then
a
I did
forever.
containers before, but when I did containers, I wasn't even getting those
But getting
tubers like
nothing,
how I
yeah.
was in the ground. So the
Uh-huh.
ground, I actually started growing better potatoes when I put them in the ground. But then somebody else started eating them as soon as I learned how to actually grow the potatoes.
It's always something to be figured out and something to be learned. And year by year you learn. But like I said, I will say sweet potatoes is forgiving in that way because though you think you're not getting a harvest, you are. So, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir. The people up in here, they probably know to eat their sweet potato greens. So
Yeah.
if they
And
don't know, they can't be watching me because I've been telling folks.
right. And I've been saving. I still get them little pieces. I got little pieces I can start back with, or I
Yeah,
can
that you
start
can
slips
plant
with and
your
stuff. So at the very least, I don't have to buy new slips or
yeah,
buy new sweet potatoes to try to start over.
yeah.
We did dig mommy's garden up, the sweet
Hmm.
potatoes, only because I felt responsible for how the sweet potatoes were taking over the garden bed. And I was like, I didn't get no sweet potatoes. Let me see if you got some over here. Number one. And then
But
number
see,
two, I just want the clear so she could do whatever she wants to do in that bed next year
was
without
it
what I had planted taking over her
was it
stuff.
in
And
the main garden?
it was some big potatoes over there. So that
Oh,
redeemed it. And mommy only eats the leaves. So
yeah,
she
I
wouldn't have
heard.
missed the potatoes anyway. I'm
Yeah.
sure more are going to pop out next year because you can't possibly pull them all out. But I just didn't want it taken over the bed because I ain't in that garden no more. So I was like, let me make sure your bed clear, girl, so you can do whatever work you want to do
Hmm.
in the
David
garden
said
bed.
David said you need hardware cloth under your raised beds or find old screen to put under your bed. He probably talking about like the aluminum window screen, not the cloth window screen, but the aluminum kind. I mean,
I
it's
have some
work.
hardware cloth because that's what I use for my quail coop.
It's
So I
work.
probably
If
would
but
have
if
to
you
dig
dug
it
the
out
dirt out the
and
yeah, you would have
then
to dig the dirt out the way, lay it down, and then put the dirt back.
and
That's
I
if
think
you
I
want.
need it on bottom and top, to be honest. Like if they come from the bottom, they come from the top where they at. Cause it's the mice. I see the mice.
Oh, okay.
I see them out there. And they dig like there's like a little hole under my fence where they go from this neighbor yard to my neighbor yard. So if I'm chasing
Yeah,
or Teddy chasing them, that's where they run out of
they
there
run
and they
over
be in
there.
the it's a mess, child. I got all the I told my sister, I said I got all the animals except for a possum in my yard. It's a goddamn jungle out there.
Yeah. When you walk outside, welcome to the jungle. Yeah, girl. So tell me why my little advocacy group they decided to have a Christmas party yesterday. And I pray that I don't ever be like this. We supposed to be having a Christmas party, and the lady that formed the group, she started like when she started planning for the party, she started saying, yeah, we just gonna party, we not gonna talk about organizing, just have a good time. Child, why we get there and she started organizing.
Organized.
So the Negro in
Hard
me.
not to. It's hard not to
I
though.
know, I
You got
know.
in your mind hard. But you
So
gotta too.
So the Negro in me, because when I did stop her from going as far as she wanted to go. And we also got down to the bottom of some things. So I noticed this every time we have a meeting sometimes. First of all, she always wants to do name tags. And I'm sorry, I hate fucking name tags. I do. I hate them. And then she always wants to do introductions. Well, a lot of times if you're we try not to let our meetings be too long because, just like anything, when a meeting is too long, some people you start losing, like I can focus for hours on end. Everybody can't do that. Some people after an hour, they not really paying attention no more. So you have to,
and a lot of people have a shorter attention span than that.
And so that means when you get to that meeting, in my opinion, hey, how y'all doing? So this is what we doing today. But you got to get in there,
Get to the point,
get out of there.
Yeah.
She want to go around the room and do introductions. Well, when there's 20 or 30 people, sometimes, even if one person says something for a minute, that's 30 minutes you just wasted on introductions, in my opinion. And a lot of these people have been here over and over. Like the regulars, we shouldn't have to introduce ourselves. If you're new,
don't y'all always meet together? Like, don't y'all know each other?
A lot of us are regulars, and we do have, like, for instance, we'll have new people come in, or we'll have like some people come. They may come 1-2 times, and then they may miss because everybody can't come to everything. And we let people know up front. We understand that because we know people work, people have children, people have, whatever they have going on. They're caretakers, they're doing all of these things. So we let everybody. So yeah, then we have, like I said, we have new people that come as well. In my opinion, the regulars have no business introducing themselves. In my opinion, I really don't care who introduces themselves because I feel like we need to get to the meat of the stuff. If I want to know your name, I'll come up to you and say, oh, hey, I see you're new. How are you? My name is this.
Yeah.
We don't have to. And then not only that, some people don't like being put on the damn spot all the time. Like, I hate to say this. Every time we do introductions, I run out of shit to say. I be in there like, okay, I'm the token Negro. Okay, can we go on? Like, they think I'm telling you, it's so funny now because now the little white people, they fight to sit next to me because they know I'll be over there mumbling stuff. I be like, Lord, why is we doing these? Why we doing these introductions? They be like,
you in any room, baby, I was the next
cause and then like I said, the leader of the group, we cool. But I told her to her face one time, I said, Paul, I can tell you've never had black friends before because when I say stuff, I can see how you be looking in your face. You don't know what to do. I said 99% of the time I'm joking with you. I said it may not sound like I'm joking, and I know I'm not laughing because my humor is very dry. I said, but I'm joking with you. You all right. You can chill out, sit down. Because one time she had me introduce myself first. I said, first of all, why do I have to introduce myself? I've been coming to meetings for a year now. Number two, why I got to go first? Is it because I'm black? And she flipped out. No, it wasn't. I'm not like that. I said, girl, I'm just playing. Like, she really thought I was serious because when I hollered out, it's because I'm black.
But I actually also really love, like, even in this conversation when we talk about genuine relationships, I love that she panicked a little bit because to me that shows that you care. Like, girl, I could have not been playing. If I wasn't playing, you would have been willing to take a look at your behavior and how it affected me. That's all you can ask from a genuine relationship. Like,
yeah. And then tell me why the next meeting, when she said, well, we're going to do introductions, D, you can go last if you want. I said, oh, because I'm black? And then the people, of course, laughed again, because the people carry over from the meeting. But I just say whatever. I don't care. I just hollers out. I don't even care. But she got the org. She was like, okay, so I'm gonna get these name tags because we're setting up for the party. I'm gonna get these name tags and this is that and the other. And I said, girl, we at a party. We not finna wear no name tags. I said, well, I do name tags because I can't remember. I pulled her husband. I say, look at your wife and tell her, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's why you can't remember, because you've been
So
relying
use
on those
people's
name
names.
tags. She was relying
Oh,
on, yeah, like people. A lot of people don't understand. This stuff will make you stupid, like your phone, like
I was just talking about
calculators.
people with
It'll
my
make you stupid.
mom.
And that's what I told her. I said, that's the reason why you can't remember, is because you're relying on the tag. I never read the tag. When a person does their introduction, they say, hey, my name's Bob. My name's Yvonne. My name's Susan. My name's, in my mind, I'm not reading the tag. I'm repeating their name back. When they say I'm Bob, okay, mind, that's Bob. When you see that face, Bob. I never look at the tag because it makes you stupid. Your phone, think about it. We remember when we had landlines, we knew people's numbers. Tell me how many numbers do you know now? That phone has made you so stupid. I used to my mind could hold 45 different numbers. I could just call people. Girl, if you get locked up now, your ass is messed up because you don't know no numbers. You don't know no numbers.
That's what my mama don't answer. They can't nobody find me.
Exactly.
I literally had this conversation with my mom. So we had to go to a funeral. My cousin passed away in Atlanta. Well, he was my mom's cousin. So my second cousin, Cousin Joe. Come to find out, Cousin Joe changed Atlanta. But that's another thing for another story. Y'all can look him up, Joe Beasley. That's my cousin. So anyway, I had a road trip with my mama. It was a turnaround trip trying to make it to the wake and the funeral in Atlanta. And I was telling her, I was talking about AI specifically because it has become so big, so normal. People use it all the time for everything. And I felt like it got that impact before I knew. I can't speak for anyone else. Before I knew how bad it was for Black communities and poor communities. That the data centers are using up all the water. They're making people sick in the areas.
They're making you pay for the electricity too.
Yes. And so I was telling her that the only thing I started using AI for, so I have a friend that's a very well paid what do you call influencer? Like she gets paid for her videos. Very well paid.
Yeah,
she was the first one, a content creator. She was the first one that was telling me about AI. She was showing me how she uses it just to help her form, some of the ideas for the content, even some of the captions and different stuff like that. And I had started using it before I realized I saw people are like protesting. They are in meetings, they are fighting for their right to be healthy in these different areas because of these data centers. And I was telling my mom, I was like, to be honest, like it was easier for AI. Like I would just talk to it. It was Chat GPT that I was using. I would talk to it. I'll tell them about what email, especially for like my events. I'll be like, okay, so I'm sending out an email to remind the vendors of the whoopty whoopty woo. I want them to be excited. I want to give them all this information. Da, 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 da. And it would write a really nice email. So I was like, Mama, it's quicker, but I can write a freaking email by myself for real. Mm-hmm. And the more I use it, the more I don't even believe that I can write an email by myself. You know what I mean? Like I was like, if it wasn't for GPS, I'd be way better at directions at this point. Like I feel like we are dumber. Like we have all this stuff to make things more convenient for us, but it's things that our brains can do on our own, and our brain is a freaking muscle. Like if you don't exercise it,
if you don't use it, you lose it. And Paula wants to tell me, that's the lady in the group. Oh, my memory. I said no, it's because you don't use it. I said you
don't even believe in yourself. You don't believe in your memory or your capabilities. That's why you don't remember.
Yeah, and then she's also, people want to blame stuff on age and stuff. And don't get me wrong, everybody's capacity is different. For instance, I get it. Some people aren't. They're good with faces, but not names, or they're good. And everybody's not going to be good at everything. But my thing is, I know you won't be good at it if you don't try. If you don't try at all, you ain't gonna be good at nothing. If you don't aim at a target, you're not gonna hit anything. Like, it's like, but see, I think she's learning. I told her this because me and her, we had a come to Jesus meeting. I told her, I said, I can tell you've never had black friends, and I can also tell these people who have been in your lives, who you call your friends, they don't push you to be any better. I said, so let me tell you, you're probably gonna get tired of me. I'm going to push you to be better at every turn. You can remember those names. You can at least try. You're not even trying. You just want to write them down. And nobody wants to walk around with name tags on like we're in the 4th grade. I'm not trying to be funny.
It's okay to Christmas party dress. Thank you. Don't put this name tag on me.
And then she wanted to start. I said, no. You said in your text, no organizing. Well, they told me I can't organize. I said, no. You said this was a Christmas party, and I said those are your words, so own them. Her husband was in a corner dying. He was like, "How do you really getting her together?" I said, "Dan, you want me to give you some classes? I'm give you some classes on how to get your wife together."
Because you could have got it together at home, then I wouldn't have to get it together when we got here.
Let me be honest and say, I think some people marry people who do not push them to be better. Like, not trying to be funny, your spouse should accept you as you are, but at the same time understand that as you get older, you should grow. If you're the same person you were when you were 18 than you are when you're 40, I'm sorry, you're doing something wrong. You really are. You shouldn't be the same person. Now, should you be similar?
My head hard enough.
Can you be similar? Yeah, because there's some stuff I'm similar, but I'm not the same person as I was when I was 18. Not even close.
I'm not even the same person I was last year.
Now, let me see.
I damn sure ain't the same person I was before COVID.
David said, wait, not Joe Beasley. He must know who that is. I don't keep up.
Joe Beasley is Joe Beasley's mom is my mom's dad's sister. So there's the Stallings and the Beasleys. Because we're like that. We descend from the grandparents. Yeah, Joe Beasley. If you live in Atlanta, you probably do know who Joe Beasley is. Because, at the funeral it was so long because the mayor was there, the former mayor was there, there was a councilwoman there, and they all talked about how Joe Beasley would be in their office making them do their job, whether they was black or not. So he really, with ancestors like Joe Beasley, baby, I really can't go wrong because he was one of the people that, like, he would march, he would get arrested. People would talk about, like, Joe Beasley wasn't scared to get arrested, like, make good trouble, if that makes sense. He worked on getting the Confederate emblems taken off the flags in Atlanta. He's got a school in Brazil, like, just all kind of stuff, taking care of the homeless. Anyway. Yeah, Joe Beasley, that's my cousin.
Okay, got you. He was an activist. Okay,
but cool. I didn't know that. I honestly, I didn't know he did all that stuff until the funeral because to me, he was Cousin Joe. Like, I just knew my mama loved Cousin Joe. He was 89 years old. So that's why I say he was an older cousin for me. But for her, that was her first cousin that she grew up with. When we would go to Atlanta or we would go to family reunions, I remember his face. I remember his love. But it wasn't until I got to the funeral, I was like, oh, okay, my cousin, like, changed the world damn near. Okay. Good to know.
Speaking of Atlanta people, I don't know if anybody caught Fonnie Willis 3 hours where she was in front of, I think it was the Georgia State Senate. This ain't nothing but Trump done told them people go after that black woman because, Fonnie was the only one that was willing to get him on that bull when he called the Georgia governor and said, I need X amount of votes. That's highly illegal.
Right.
And so she had to, baby, they got the full 3 hours, but if you can't devote 3 hours, please watch some clips. Fonnie was, when I tell you chestnuts roasting on an open fire, she was cooking. She told her, she said, that's an ignorant question. Let me explain to you. When I tell you, every time she answered, she would lean up into that mic. When she get ready to lean into that mic, you know it's going to be some fire. When I tell you and then I didn't realize Georgia's, this is an old governor. He got out of office in 2003. That's the governor that took the Confederate flag off of Georgia's flag. And
Mm.
he's a lawyer as well, and he was there with her as kind of like her co-counsel. And he don't seem like he pulled no punches either. They said when he took that Confederate flag off of that flag, took the Confederate flag off of Georgia's flag, they said the Klan camped out in his yard for at least about a week. And he
Mm.
said for 4 years he had to go around with bodyguards and all. You see how much you'll do all of this to protect a traitor's flag, a loser's flag. You'll do all of that. If you put your energy towards doing something else, you might not be staying in a trailer park. You know what I'm saying? It just, but I'm not
You
gonna get
might
too
just
deep into
prosper.
that. Yeah, you might. You know what I'm saying? You just spend your energy doing something else. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're classified as. I would not be surprised. David said the Klan is a non-profit organization.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
They
surprised.
anything but a terrorist organization. They a
Yeah,
501c3.
yeah. Uh,
Take off.
but yeah, it's babe, I ain't got time. But I just, if y'all haven't seen the clips when it ain't nothing like watching her cook them people and the stuff. And when I say being sharp, but you have to understand who Fonny's daddy is, though. Fonny's daddy helped Nelson Mandela get free and end apartheid. A lot of people don't know that about her dad. Her daddy also was a Black Panther, and he got out of the Panthers because it was some infighting. That whatever chapter he was in, it was a lot of infighting in his particular chapter, and he felt like they were wasting their energy fighting. So he said, "Let me not waste my energy on that and get out and do something else." And so, that's how I guess he started. He was an attorney as well. Um, but Fonny is something. She's something else, baby. She's something else. But I hollered this week. I kept seeing the clips, and it's so funny when they edit it and they put like these rap songs behind it. You know what I mean? They put the rap songs, and it's always the most confrontational rap songs. It's always Megan Thee Stallion, or somebody like that behind. She say something, and then you hear her rapping the lyrics. I'm like, oh Lord, they so foolish. But yeah, speaking on the AI thing, we talked about that a touch yesterday at those parties, because they talking about how they kept talking about they was trying to figure out how they're gonna get the young people. I said, let me tell you something, y'all are not telling these young people what they need to hear. They're creating a lot of this AI so they can get rid of jobs. So you first of all, you need to tell these young people, if you want to have a job, you might want to vote in people who are going to put at least some restrictions on AI. There's no restrictions to my knowledge on AI right now. And if they continue to go the way that they're going, they're just going to keep getting rid of jobs, because a computer, you don't have to pay them benefits. You don't have to give them health care. No social security is being paid into, and all of these different things. You
Yeah.
either tell your kids to get in something that they can't create a robot for, or
Right.
the better thing to do is to we're gonna have to vote in some people who understand that this AI is not, it's not all just roses and daisies and
It's
all of this
not.
kind of stuff. Because the one that they're putting the largest meta facility is going to go in Louisiana, and where they're putting it was prime farmland. This guy sold, his family had, this farmland had been in his family's family for 4 generations, like a quite a bit, and he sold 2,200 acres to put Meta's largest. It's going to be the largest AI. And then the part of this that bothers me is the way that he did it. He didn't have to go through any legislative channels. All he had to do was pretty much sell the land to Meta, and that in itself, you see what I mean? There should be some restrictions. When
Right.
2,200 acres get sold, And I
There's
know this,
restrictions when we buy land. It's either
yeah,
commercial or,
22 acres gets sold. And I know that the state knew about it because you file your papers with the state anytime you buy paper, anytime you buy anything, the deed or whatever, it's filed with the state. So they can't say that they didn't know. At that point, it should have been, hey, wait a minute, 22, and who did this get sold? You get what I'm saying? And I know people say, oh, you can do whatever you want with your land, but that's prime farmland, and there's still farmland all around those 2,200 acres. So what is this place going to do to the water? Then they're also going to make, in this area, there's not a lot of rich people. It's a lot of farmers, and it's a lot of like family farms. It's not, there are some huge farms, there's family farms. Those people are going to have to pay the light bill. My thing is this: Meta, you have more money than the law exists. Why you can't pay your own damn light bill? Now that legislatively should be illegal.
So those are farms of all their water. Those data centers use so much water to like
Yeah, to
cool
cool
the
them. Yeah, to cool them.
area and tell the residents to, you know how they try to limit the residents' water. Oh, but the data center is soaking up everything.
Unlimited. Yeah, unlimited.
And then my thing is
Unlimited.
this. That reminded me of something my mom said too, because my mom, well, y'all have seen it. Well, anybody who watched my channel, Diva, you know, my mom has a few properties where I grew up, you know, in Trinity Gardens. And there was this one property that she wanted to buy. So if anybody's familiar with Houston, Texas, we have an elementary school called Felix Cook Elementary. Felix Cook was a black man, and he owned some of the land right there, like near the school, on Lockwood, where my mom has one of her properties. And she wanted to buy it. And the granddaughter, Felix Cook granddaughter, she was like, first of all, that granddaughter don't know how hard Felix Cook had to work to have this land. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I hate that she's selling it anyway. But then she didn't even want to sell it to a black person. And so my mom was just like, she was like, dang, like, why are our kids not understanding the legacy, or why are they not understanding the value in the land that their family has worked so hard to get? I mean, you're going to give it to the data center, or you're going to sell it. This neighborhood is a black neighborhood.
Yeah. It's
always has been.
It's because somebody hasn't told them, because when you have oral histories, you know, I very often, I ask my best friend. So my best friend, her great grandparents bought a home in Chicago. Her great grandparents bought a home in Chicago. I asked my friend, I said, how did they do that? And she was like, well, what do you mean? They just bought it. I said, no, see, you're not even thinking. I said, these are your great grandparents. Don't think because it's Chicago that they did not redline Negroes into a certain area. Then on top of that, not only redlining, but a lot of times they didn't allow black people to really just buy like that. Like when you was in Chicago, a lot of time black people was in apartment buildings when you go back, you know, so far, or they was in these tenement type things. They weren't just out here. Now, I'm not saying it was nobody. Yeah, of course, there's always been black elites here and there, but that's not the question
you're asking. How? What did they have to go through to acquire this land? That's what you need to be thinking about for real.
And she hadn't even thought about it. I said, how was they able to get that land? I said, do the history on that address. I said, because I told her the different maps that she can actually pull up to see how the redlining was done, where the lines were drawn and things like that. I said, pull up those historical maps and look and see where, like, what type of town was that way back then, because you know neighborhoods, cities, they ebb and flow and change. I said, but I'm almost positive. I said something she said, well, he was working. I said, yeah, but that's still lots of people was working. That's not explaining to me how, because he was doing something a little different, or something like his mind was in a, but see, I said, but see, that's the stuff. And I told my best friend, I said, these are the things. This is your family lineage. Nobody has told you. You have no clue. And then you didn't ask the question. So number one, you're not breeding curious children. Number two, you're not teaching them the oral history. You should be telling. You should be teaching. You should be talking. For the life of me, I can't understand how you have certain people in your family you're not telling. And then, you know, when they meet the people, or the people damn near dead, oh, I didn't, I get pissed off when I find stuff out at funerals. I go to the elders in my family. How come I didn't know this? Who gatekeeping the information? I'm gonna need to know.
I know for me, I feel like for cousin Joe, there wasn't no way I was gonna know all the stuff he was doing. When we left that funeral, I was like, damn, did he start when he was 3? Because I know there was a big thing when he was mistreated by the police in Atlanta, and it was only so big because of who he is, because he's like an activist and stuff like that. Yeah. So things that were happening like in my lifetime, obviously I would see him, because when it happened to him, he'd be on the news or in the mayor's office or wherever. But yeah, it's true. Like, we need to know. My mama was so hurt. She was like, dang, they didn't even want to talk to Black person. She was like, she has no idea what Felix Cook Jr. might have went through.
No, and then, because see, I can go even further.
Valuable to her. She's just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, she wants the money. I can go even further. You can look at on Housewives of Atlanta, Portia. Portia's grandfather was Hosea, I think Williams was his last, because her last name was Williams. That man was in the civil rights movement, and this is Portia stand her ignorant ass up on television and thought the Underground Railroad was a real train. Just as stupid as the day is long. And everybody that is above her and her family should have been wholeheartedly embarrassed, and they should have sat down and started explaining. Because I bet you if you ask her grandfather's legacy, she probably doesn't really know.
Wait a minute now. I told myself that they be acting.
She wasn't acting. She was.
And when I saw that, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to tell myself she was acting, because I just
you just didn't want to believe somebody could be that stupid. She's that stupid.
Forget who her grandfather was, girl. You ain't had not a piece of education about yourself.
Zero.
Like, she was like, well, how they fit the thing under there? I said, this can't be real. When I saw her say that, I said, she trying to get paid. She trying to stay on season after season, because we're going to all comment about how stupid she is. And listen, famous people do that. Sometimes any attention is attention, even if it's negative. But I feel like she was for real, but I just didn't want to feel like she was for real, because it's so sad.
Let me say this. If she was playing, once again, the idea that, see, I don't know. I guess I was taught, because my thing is, so you mean to tell me you're going to get on TV and lots of people are watching this outside of Black people, and what they're left with is,
you didn't allow them to think
see them dumbass Black women. See what I'm saying? You see them dumb at that. Then when they find a smart Black woman, they think that's an exception to the rule.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I definitely don't think it's right that she did that. Yeah,
I used to watch Housewives regularly, and I said I cannot continue to watch this. This is glorifying Black women being vicious to each other, Black women being stupid, things of this nature.
I absolutely don't agree with it, but I think it was harder for me to digest the fact that she really, but I mean, everybody was around her was like, Portia, it wasn't a real train. Like,
it's not like it wasn't. But I mean,
acting? Because right now I need to feel like you're acting.
I pray she was, but I don't know.
Famous people, they don't care. They don't care what kind of impact they making half the time. They just gonna get paid. No, like I said, whether it's negative or positive, and they don't care about what you're saying. That's what we do. We think when I go out into the world, I'm not just representing myself, whether it's our choice or not. We don't get a choice. So we present ourselves in a certain way, but unfortunately, the people that they like to be famous are those who give away.
And then it's also the people who's willing to sell a soul. Because I have said it several times. I don't think I'll ever be famous, because you can't get me to sell my soul for 2 shillings. You can't get me to do it.
I will be honest and say that my reach has been limited at times because of how much I stand for certain things.
Instagram before I got hacked the first time. The first time I ever made a jewelry line for Flint, Michigan, I was
Yeah.
so first of all, I was taken back. So I didn't have nowhere to put that energy but into jewelry. So I was like, I'm gonna make jewelry and I'm gonna donate to Little Miss Flint. Like they gonna have clean water, damn it. So I was so hyped, right? I made the jewelry, took the pictures, and I did this whole flyer and stuff. As soon as I tried to boost my flyer on Instagram, they was like, no, ma'am. We do not, this is political. And I was like, wait a minute, clean water is not
No,
political.
that's a right in this
That's the
nation.
right that
That's a
everyone
right.
has. And ever since that point, Instagram had like stopped showing me as much until I
I can
got
see
this
that.
new account. And I was taken back because I was like, dang, I don't even have a huge following. I can't even
Yeah.
believe that y'all cared that I had something to say. And I really wasn't mad or, I wasn't directly saying the government should. I was saying clean water is a right that everyone deserves. I made some jewelry.
I
If
remember
you
that line.
buy it,
I
I
remember that line.
did it.
As a matter of fact, it wasn't, in my opinion, political at all. You simply made the jewelry and said that the jewelry, the proceeds were going to be going towards Flint and the clean water.
They
It was
blocked
not
me.
like, it's like any other thing that you want to donate to. You simply made jewelry instead of, what other people may do, whether they ask for money outright or whether they make something else or, whatever. All you did was made jewelry and said the proceeds were going towards the Flint water crisis. Other than that, I didn't think it was political at all. But that's the factions. Because did I tell you, they took my Instagram for a little bit.
I didn't know that.
Girl, and I ain't said two words about it because Instagram kissed my natural black ass. When I tell you they were getting mad at me because I would go down in the comments and I don't know if you ever noticed this. I noticed this different now because I had to fight them and fight them and fight them. And they would not give me, because my handle on Instagram was the same thing as it was on YouTube. They would not give me that handle again. So now my handle is something totally nobody. I don't even have pictures up. I refuse to put any content on there. I'm not F y'all and this platform. So when I would go to comments, the comments that would be at the top was the most racist comment. And I would report the comments, but then I would respond to them MFers. Because if you bold enough to put this up here, I'm bold enough to respond. But my response was always, I would correct whatever racist mess they were saying, and then I would put up under there and Instagram, you're trifling for putting this comment at the top. I said, why is it every time I go and come on videos, the most racist incendiary comments are at the top? That way you can get more clicks and more interaction off of racism. And then I started putting up under the comments, please, y'all, quit interacting with these people. Report these racist comments. Because I'm going to tell you what prompted me to do that. I don't know if you noticed or not, but there was something that happened in the Jewish community. Somebody posted a video about Jews. It was very anti-Semitic. Feel how you want about the Jews because, I have a conflict with that. But that's neither here nor there. It's not that I'm anti-Semitic. I guess the way I feel is it's funny how Jews can, like, as soon as something's labeled anti-Semitic, they shut it down immediately in this country. But it can be anti-Black and they let it ride. So I have a serious issue with that. And then I'm also going to go on the record.
Anything anti-Semitic too, like
yeah, it could be
you
anything.
don't even do that.
You don't even mention Jews, and it becomes anti-Semitic. And then on top of that, I also have an issue with there are certain Jewish people who have lots and lots and lots of money and therefore lots and lots and lots of power. And I notice what they do and don't get behind. I notice
That's right.
I notice how sometimes powerful Jews will hurt the Black community. And it's almost like we're supposed to be okay with that out of your fucking mind. So I'm at a crux. But some shit went on with you. But I don't agree with railing anybody because they're a Jew now. But I'm just saying you have to call a thing a thing. But something happened in the Jewish community. I watched the video. It was very anti-Semitic. I didn't see why the person even posted it. Baby, the Jewish community rallied en masse, and within minutes that video was down and taken off. You want to know why? Because they sat up there and they reported it. We don't do enough of that. We want to fight back and forth with you. Do not fight back and forth with these MFers. Report that. And so I started reporting, telling it. Baby, Instagram told me that me telling them, oh, I was going against the policy. And they was going to block my account. They blocked my account. I said, no, you're going to have to prove to me where I've gone against any policy. For months and months, they couldn't prove it. So basically, they let me have it back. But like I said, I can't name it Diva Jones 03. I can't name it that. So I said, okay.
My thing is, like, I'm now understanding that people are getting paid, or they're getting fed and paid from our attention, our comments, rage baiting. I mean, people post stuff just to make Black people mad. Then they get all the comments and all of this. TikTok paid them for that. Instagram pays them for that. So when you saying don't go back and forth with those people, for me, it starts with the energy, first of all.
Yeah.
Giving energy to someone who you can't even reach. They good for nothing. Anyway, half of these people walk around without is demons, okay? It ain't nothing to appeal to, no way. So they stealing your energy, your time, and then they make money off of posting stuff that makes you mad.
Yep.
And so it's learning to pull back and know which, like choose your battles, so to speak. Where if I speak, will a difference be made? Does this person even have the capacity to understand what I'm about to say right now? Like, if the answer is no, baby, I can save my little comment, my energy, because they are siphoning, especially Black people energy. They always trying to make us mad or scared and it's like, no, I'm gonna keep my energy for where I feel like it will be most useful. But yeah, Instagram, it sucks because for me, being a stay-at-home mom, most of my work is on the internet.
Yeah.
So while I want to be like, Instagram, it's like,
oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Use what you can get, what you can get out of there. Yeah, get what you can get out of them. But
like I said, it's harder for me, and I don't reach further, and I don't get paid as much as some other people because I'm never going to stop making jewelry for Flint, or you know what I mean? Like, if I see something that got, even now on my Instagram, I posted about AI. I was like, oh, propaganda that I'm not falling for is using AI for my everyday life. Like, it's bad for Black people in poor communities. Meta AI, X AI, whoever else, Chat GBT. Like, I don't care to be popular when it's gonna hurt my community and when it's gonna hurt poor people. And I feel like the less you care about that, the more you get popular, the more you get paid, the more reach you get, because that's what they want. For you to promote. All them things is bad for us.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not posting on there as of yet. I'm not telling other people. I'm just simply not posting because they done left a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't need them as of right now. Now, if I need them for something, yeah, I'll post. You know what I'm saying? Because I get it. That's what age we in, and unfortunately, But I definitely get it. Just like there's a lot of different companies and businesses I've found on Instagram. So I mean, I definitely get it. Different Black businesses and stuff that otherwise I probably wouldn't have seen them if it wasn't for Instagram. So I totally get it. They just have left. That's just a personal thing. Have left a bad taste in my mouth, and now
I
they
agree with
my
you.
ass. So I don't post no pictures. I don't post nothing. But what I do go is down in them comments. I be reporting. I got something the other day back and said, we reviewed your report. We removed their account for multiple violations. I said, okay, good.
Good. You see, you out there doing the good work,
baby. But I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of times they be like, nothing was done, nothing, and that pisses me off because some of that stuff is, and I get it because they're probably using AI to look at that person's comment instead of a human, or you're using a human that has never experienced racism, so they don't, because people are not always in the comments N word this and N, the blatant racist stuff.
No, but we know who they are.
Yeah, and if you use AI is not going to pick up on that, at least not because they say AI learns as it goes. But also these algorithms and different things is biased against us anyway. So I don't know if it will ever learn how to pick up on any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you need dedicated people to pick up on, to read some of these comments. And I think they need to put it blatantly. Like when you report it, it has all these different categories that it falls up under. I think they need a specific category that says racism. And when you click that, that needs to go to a human. Because right now it has like hateful speech or discrimination or something. To me, that's not enough for me. I need for it to say racism. That's what I need for it to say. I need for it to be right on it.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know if that'll ever happen. It probably won't. But the little I can do. And I'm telling you, I still go up under there and tell people, y'all quit going back and forth with these people. Just report them. We need to start reporting them. I said, we can get them out for here. Because honestly, if they get enough reports, Instagram will take them down, regardless if they agree with it or not. If they get enough reports, it's obviously, but we don't report stuff. Like some of these, there are whole channels that base, like for the life of me, I don't understand how Charlie Kirk was able to have the platform that he had but maybe they weren't sending his videos to a lot of black people. I think black people were seeing them, but you get what I mean? They weren't being really, because Charlie Kirk never came across my algorithm. Yeah, I guess so. And see, that'd be the part. But when we find out about it, we need to do like they do these businesses. Like when they show these businesses being racist and people go to Yelp and leave all them reviews, or they be turning them into their school. Like some chicks at LSU was doing some racist stuff on this black girl ring cam. And the black girl came out, and then the white girl tried to play crazy. And they blew LSU ass up about that shit. And them girls and white girls got put out of school. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. We need to start doing that. Don't let these people get away with this stuff, gaslighting and all this different stuff that they're doing. They're crazy. It's crazy. But I report stuff in a minute now. I don't even, let me go down in this. I be clicking so fast.
More stuff too.
I be on it. Because, and like I said, I really did. I took inspiration from the Jewish people, because I'm telling you, most of the time, but it's because in mass as a community, whether they like each other or not, oh no, I know they ain't saying nothing about no Jewish people. Because I forget how many reports they said that dude got in an hour. It was like millions. And I know all of them probably weren't Jewish, but I'm just saying a lot of them probably was though. You know, and we could do the same damn thing instead of going round and round with these MFers about what's, you know, because they be saying some wild stuff on the internet. I'm just like, and they channel still up there? That's against the policies. But like you said, when they paying somebody, because at the end of the day, these platforms get money the more you watch. They get it.
And the more comments, the more
engagement.
Be engaging. I having an argument, like you said, going back and forth. But
that's
for the
money.
And that's what we're gonna do. Like my favorite form of self-love is to keep my money, my support, my whatever away from those who don't serve me. So I definitely will not be arguing
at all.
When I could be doing something that'll make me money.
At all. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. Girl, I got some the next thing I gotta do is plant I got to harvest some sweet potatoes, but I need to plant my brassicas out in the garden. I'm gonna take time probably tomorrow to do that.
I still need some, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie, I want more brassicas. I might have to cover them up if it get too cold, like under 20, and just keep them going. Broccoli. I know enough collard. And I want to do sugar beets again this year. I didn't get a lot the first time, but I'm gonna try some sugar beets and some more. I did so good on the celery last year, so I'm replanting my celery and cilantro, because cilantro don't like the heat.
No, I have mine planted now. Believe it or not, I had my celery out in 21 degrees, didn't cover it or nothing. Girl, it's fine.
Yes, celery.
I mean, excuse me, not celery, cilantro. I'm sorry.
Celery and
I
cilantro. Me, I never cover my celery up, and that's when I plant my seeds. Like my seeds are sprouted already now, and I
mhm.
just put them in the garden, and they'll be big and beautiful all throughout the year. Starting them now, when it's kind of fall, chilly,
Yeah,
wet, and then cilantro. As soon as we get a little bit of warmth, that thing go to seed. So winter is the only time I can plant that. I had what you call culantro before, but it died. That one survived more.
yeah, it likes hotter weather. I've been meaning to get some plants from it. They say it's hard as hell to get the seeds to germinate. I
I was,
bought seeds 3 or 4 times. My seeds didn't germinate.
and see,
But
the one that I grew was from a plant start, so maybe I should stick with that and try to find another plant
yeah,
start.
because I've tried and lots of people have said that. And I also think it boils down to this. I think certain seeds, not all, I think it's actually in the minority, but certain seeds have to be super, super fresh. I have noticed with celery, if you let celery seeds get over a year or two, they won't germinate. I've seen the germination rate
Mm.
fall off after a year. Onions, that's another one. Onions,
Onions is
you better
definitely.
hurry up. Um, but I think culantro might be that way because I
Mm.
don't think people are sending me seeds that are 5, 6, 7 years old. I think they
Right.
may just be 2 years, and I think maybe they did a germination test when they first took them, thought that they was all right, and the seeds viability just don't last long. So, like I said,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get me some little plants because I bought seeds. One time I bought 500 seeds, not one of them sprouted. And I said, I know I'm not this bad of a gardener. This is
Oh
ridiculous.
no.
And don't get me wrong, I didn't pay much for the seeds. I paid $3, $4, $5 for that. It because
Ew.
culantro seeds are very, very tiny. They're like dust.
Mm.
And I also find that too. I find that those little bitty seeds, a lot of times that are like dust, sometimes it's hard to get them to germinate. Like strawberry seeds is not for me, not that good at germinating. But
Yeah, same with the strawberry seeds. I've even tried like cold stratifying mine first.
strawberry seed, it's funny. I don't know if you know Nick that's in Missouri, the garden man. He can get his strawberry seeds to germinate. I don't know what the hell. I can
I'm gonna
hardly
have to
get
watch him because there's
it.
other kinds that I would like to try. Like I've seen yellow strawberry seeds, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I love to grow me something that's a different color now.
I
So, but
had
I
years
got to learn
ago.
how to germinate them.
Years ago, I had some alpine strawberries, and they sent me some of those seeds, and I thought that they were never gonna come up. And I scattered like 30 seeds, and after a while, I said these things ain't gonna come up. And I had two little plants came up, and I guarantee you, if you get you some alpine strawberries, girl, they grow. If you can get them to come up, they will grow, and make berries. Make
Keep
berries.
trying.
Yeah, the berries are not that big. The berries are smaller, but boy, they good. They so good.
Hmm.
They taste real good. But the only thing about the alpine strawberries, they are not like your regular strawberries. They don't throw runners.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna grow them again, you have to save seeds. And I didn't know that. I thought mine were gonna throw runners. They didn't. At the end of the year, they just die on you.
Mm.
So you have to save you some seeds, and then you have to start that hard ass process again, trying to
So
get
I
them to
say, then you
germinate.
got to get them hoes to grow.
So I said, F them damn berries. I ain't got time to be fooled with that. But
I
yeah,
found some. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to start from seed, but we went to Home Depot for a whole nother thing, and I seen
the
they had them,
strawberry,
and it was like four
all them runners.
in one. I was like, shoot, let me go and pick this up. I got two of them. It was four in one of them and five in the other one.
Okay.
So I was like, shoot, let me go on and try that because it does take a while. Like I will try anything from seed once
Mm-hmm.
or twice. But I also have a lot of things to grow. So if something can be easier a different way, I might go ahead and take that way. But for the yellow ones, I'm gonna try again and I'll do a video. I'll let y'all know if it's
Yeah.
successful or what was the secret to getting them to germinate. There's also some white strawberries that I've seen.
Yes. Yes. There are pine
I
berries.
would like, yeah, pine berries. So I would like a variety. I think that's one of the things I love about growing food is like, what? I didn't know there was purple tomatoes. You know, you don't go to the grocery store and see the purple tomatoes or all the different kind of peppers that they have and all the different varieties. Like I grew the pink celery last year. This year I got some new seeds for like a real red celery. I think that's cool. And that's some of the stuff that you can only get if you learn to grow from seed.
Yeah,
So just gotta keep trying. Some stuff is easier than others to germinate. Like I feel like once I got the heat down or the temperature down, the peppers and the tomatoes was good. It's like, girl, we
yeah,
just need the right temperature.
yeah,
Flower seeds sometimes need to be more shallow, or some of them you just put on the top, or some of them need light to germinate. So it's like you just have to learn about the different, seed that you planting or whatever. So I still ain't got strawberries down, but I'm gonna work on it.
yeah.
I'll
That's
share
true.
if I learn something.
Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all you can do because different stuff just requires different things. Bottom line, some
And even
stuff
if
is
you watch
super
somebody in a
easy, and
different
some stuff is
area,
not.
yeah, I try to remember like, well, how she do that, girl? She in a whole nother area. She in a
Yeah,
whole
and
nother
depending.
area. She got different resources, different sunlight now. So even if
Yeah.
you see somebody doing it and they successful, it's not necessarily you. You just got to find a way to do it in your environment with your
Mhm.
weather. You know what I mean? I had to find the right place for my strawberries because I bought some last year,
You
and I
shoot,
just
you know how many strawberries I done killed? I done killed so many strawberries here. You put them in the wrong
strawberries is
spot.
hard for me.
Listening at the pack time I put them in full sun. Go out there,
They
bitches
be
cook.
dead, they dried
They be
up.
cooked.
And then they say they don't need a lot of root space, but it's like, but then I can't have you in full sun and you dry by the night. So, you dry.
Hmm.
So once I
Yeah, and the
move,
thing is, no, they don't need a lot of roof space, but when they run, I'm telling you now, you really strawberries, if you're gonna plant them up against other plants, I would suggest planting them around taller plants because when they run, bro, they need some ground space though, because when they run, girl, you seen last year how those strawberries ran on me to the point where I had to get a whole nother uh big old grow bed. They was all
hmm
out on the ground. So
and
yeah, you
then
have
I don't
to.
think people think about if it's running, that main plant is sustaining the other ones too until they get to stick their little booty somewhere. And
Yeah.
so they do need a little more than you think because it's like I said, this
Mhm.
ain't one plant no more. This is one plant with 4 babies hanging off of it.
Yep.
So the nutrition or whatever, the sun, the everything is gonna need to
Yeah.
be enough to sustain, like keep it healthy while it's trying to support them little extras.
Cause mine, girl, I couldn't believe it. I went out there 2 weeks ago. Mine started running in the fall. They putting runners out now. I said, oh, well, excuse me. And I know they're gonna put
No,
out some more in the spring, but I just like where the leaves was, I just cleared them a little spot where when you touch down, you put your little roots down.
mm-hmm.
Wherever you touch down, I'm telling you, one of them had a runner. It had already rooted down in one place, and then that one ran. So
Oh my god.
it was on its second little. I
Just
said, "Oh,
running and
good,
running.
yeah, just good." And I had plenty since I put them in those new big old grow bags. I had plenty little room. So let me put you where you need to go. Y'all gonna have plenty room in here. So y'all just get
Mm-hmm.
comfortable, and come spring, I'm gonna need some strawberries. Shoot, I ain't got time to be playing with them doggone berries. Some of my berries died off on me. Like I said, strawberries.
I only
I
have
don't
two
know. I
left.
think
I found these cute little stack planters at Ollie's and I was so hyped. I planted two of them fully, which made what, like 6 plants? Child, I got two left. But I've moved those two to the back, like my side garden, and that's
mm,
where they're doing better at. So now when I replant these few that I got from Home Depot, that's where it's gonna live. And I hope y'all pray for me. I hope I get to
strawberry.
keep
I'm gonna
my
tell you like
strawberries
this.
alive. And I like the
What I
ones that have runners, so I could try to at least get some runners and replant without having to buy more.
because what I didn't really notice is that when I used to watch people growing strawberries a lot, and they used to say how easy it was, I went back and paid attention. A lot of those gardeners girl, they was in climates that's kind of colder than mine. I'm not saying, for instance, those
Mm.
strawberries in at 21 degrees, I didn't cover them at all. Girl, they didn't, no damage, no nothing. Strawberry, I think, I'm not saying you can't grow them in the South. You obviously can, but if you look at where commercial strawberries are grown, they are grown in a little bit cooler climate than what we have. Just a little bit. Like Oxnard, California, they grow a lot of strawberries. If you look at their weather, it's not cold there, but it's cooler than here. They don't get the temps that we get here.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, a lot of the gardeners that I found that were super successful with strawberries, they were in cooler climates. I think we can grow them in the South, but it's very tricky, and I think we lose a lot of plants.
I think too is like when okay, like if you study like permaculture and stuff and how they put tree guilds and different things together, like I don't know if y'all know tree guild, but it's like
Yeah, I
you
know
have
that.
the tree, then you have different supporting plants, and they all have like a level. And strawberries are like an understory
Yes.
type of plant, so which means it's never the full sun plant. It's other stuff growing up over it that's gonna give it some shade and like keep it cool so it'll be happy and spread on the ground. So when I think about it like that, I'm like, I should have never even had my strawberries
Yeah.
in full sun where I had them because they weren't under anything. They like to be an understory
Yeah. They definitely,
plant.
to me, when you look at how they behave, they definitely are intended to be a understory, almost like ground cover. Because
Yes,
running, in my opinion, that's the same thing as like when you have creeping thyme or these different
yes.
creeping, it's the same behavior. It's reaching out and just growing and hugging the ground. That's what it's intended to do.
And that's where
Like,
they best thrive. But I think we always see people plant them in stackable, which mine are going to be in stackables too. But
true.
when I have more space and I
Yeah,
can
you
make
can
a
do
whole bunch
different.
more
Yeah,
tree gives, listen, you
yeah,
ain't going to be able to tell me nothing with all the food that's going to be up
yeah,
under my trees.
yeah.
You know, that's a
But yeah,
space
you do
limitation
what
for
you can
me.
do. You do what you can do until you can do better. Like I say all the time. You do with
Right.
what you have, work with what you got until you can do better. But definitely, I think, and then also just, like I said, misinformation right on the back. I've never seen strawberries that say, plant me in the shade. I like shade. No, they all say full to partial sun. They like actually, and I'm starting to think it's a racket. They want you to kill your strawberries so that you can buy more.
No.
Yeah, so you can buy more. I think
I'm
it's a
supposed to
racket.
buy bare roots every year. No. And not to
Mhm.
mention the next racket is some of them dry ass bare roots they be selling.
You can't pay me to buy bad roots. No, you can't pay me.
Like I'm stuck on it because why they doing
It-
people like this? Like I understand, like I had a friend, she was like, oh girl, I got some, one of the friends that started watching my channel, getting excited about growing. She's like, girl, I got me some bare roots strawberries from Walmart. Baby, they were so damn dry. I was like, come on, Walmart, don't do my people like this, Not that I told her to go to Walmart, but my thing is like, if you paying for it, even if it's a discounted price, give me something. Give me something.
they knew
I'm
that
buying a
message.
bag full of dry nothing.
They knew the compost. They knew that bag was dead when they got it off the truck. They
That's
knew
what
that
I'm
it was
saying.
compost. It was compost when they got it off the truck. When you get something out of a bag and you would be in there like 10 plants and 2 of them come up, that's ridiculous. That's
That's what
ridiculous.
they be
And
doing.
that's
And for
why
newer
I have
gardeners,
told
that's
people
so
on my channel.
discouraging.
I have told people on my channel, just you do what you want, but if I was you, I advise against those bad roots. Because out of experience, you know any bad roots I have bought. I done sent somebody's child to college buying bad roots. It's just too
For
much.
them to not even come up.
Yeah, they
And it's
don't
so
even come out.
discouraging for newer gardeners,
Yeah,
and when you haven't even built that confidence. Like for us, we know, I mean, sometimes it's us, but it ain't always us. Sometimes them some dry ass bare roots, or sometimes, you know what I mean? Like you said, somebody didn't do a seed germination test or the seeds was too old. We have enough experience, especially you, to know that everything is not on us. But I feel like newer gardeners,
they don't
they
know.
may just be like,
They don't
wow,
know.
I planted 10 bare roots. and only one came up. What did I do wrong? You know, when
And
that
then,
Bear Roots wasn't shit when you bought them.
and then keep in mind the resiliency of people. The resiliency that not everybody is going to stick with it, because I promise you, you don't know how many people will, whether they just driving by and they stop and chat, or if I'm in a conversation and I make mention that I grow things, or maybe I'm at the nursery or somewhere and I'm getting something and somebody sees me getting vegetables and they're getting flowers. It's been many times people, I don't know how you grow vegetables, and we get in conversation, and so many times, yeah, I can't, I kill everything, or I don't. And I said, no, I said, I don't know all the details. I said, but I don't think it was all on you. The resiliency of some people, they will try something once, and then if it doesn't work, they give up. And sometimes they tried it 2 or 3 times, not even
Yeah.
understanding. Like, for instance, in the vein of those Bear Roots, you want strawberries so bad, and you keep seeing these things, and you said, well, they got to work, they selling them,
Mm-hmm.
not understanding that this is not 1923 anymore. Back in the day, companies cared what they gave to their consumers. They valued they don't value the consumer no more. They figure
They
you're
don't have
pretty
to care.
stupid, I'm just gonna go back and buy and buy and
They
buy.
damn near jacking you for your money and got an
Yeah,
attitude when you ain't spending it on nothing. Like these Bear
yeah.
Roots is I don't want them.
So it's like, and like you said, that just discourages. And I know I've said it in my videos. I try to preach it several times, especially in videos that I target towards beginner gardeners. You have to be resilient, and because it takes experience. Because, like I said, I don't care what nobody say. People can buy from whoever they want to buy from, but I will tell you off top, as a beginner gardener, I don't recommend Baker Creek, because
Yeah.
you will grow one season and quit on them sorry ass seeds. Them seeds with 10% germination rate, and they lie on the back and tell you it's 90%. And I know for a
They're
fact it ain't.
so
And,
popular
and
too.
let
It's
me
like
say
the most
this.
Other companies are
Very popular. And let me say this. I think I was fortunate enough to where when I started my gardening journey, I actually did not learn about Baker Creek until later on. That unlike a lot of people, Baker Creek was not the first seed company. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I first started, you want to know how I was getting my seeds? Girl, a lot of my stuff I was getting from the grocery store. I buy me a bag of beans. Go buy me, you know what I'm saying? That's how I was, because when you get a whole bag of pinto beans for $2, I'm gonna take 10 beans out of there and go plant them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get, that was different. Not everything, but when I started seeing, okay, I can grow this little grocery store, you get a little confidence. And you say, okay, I know a little something. Then when you get Baker Creek and you sow a whole packet and nothing comes up, something say, okay, that ain't me. But when you knew, you don't know. You don't know.
Oh,
And
yep.
then you'll fool around and give up, and you'll say, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna leave this alone. You
Well,
know.
that about being a resilient person. Me and my mom were talking about that because successful people are only people who keep trying. Like
Yeah.
even at my event, I couldn't even tell y'all how many things happened that I had to like fix or that I was frustrated with. Or that, could have went wrong or I could have gave up on and it wouldn't turned out the same way. But when I got there, people were like, "Oh, girl, you plant that so smooth. Oh, you look so good.
Yeah,
You look so." They
things
had
will
no,
look effortless. They look effortless, but people don't know the effort that you put into them.
but
Because
you
I
gotta
was
keep
telling
going.
somebody,
You gotta keep trying. Like successful people fail multiple times. They just try again.
yes,
Most things
because
don't even work out the first time or
no,
exactly
they
the
don't.
way
A
that
lot of
you
times they
thought.
don't work out the first time, the second time, the third time. Do you know how many
None
people
of
that
it.
took to the 10th time, and that's when they finally got it? You're only lucky when you get it the first and second time. Most successful people know it's the 10th, 11th, 12th mistake that they're like, oh, got it.
You
Because I was
learn
telling,
too. Mistakes are like lessons. Like,
yeah, they
okay,
listen.
I'm just
People have
learning.
forgotten how to make lemonade. They just get the lemons and they said, what am I supposed to do with these? Make lemonade, fool. You're not just
Hmm.
supposed to sit there and look at them. You know, just like I was telling a lady, The lady had no concept about Grambling band because somebody brought it up. They had said something. They said, well, she used to be in Grambling band, blah, blah. They just be out there telling my business. But anyway, and the lady asked me something, and I was explaining to her how we do summer band camp. Because what she was asking me is somebody asked, why does Grambling's band look totally different than, because there's another school 3 miles down the road. And they have a band as well, but it's a white school. And they was like, why do they look totally different? I say, well, first of all, they don't put in the work that we put in. I say their band practices like twice a week. And the lady was like, y'all practice more than twice a week? I said, ma'am, we practice 4-5 times a week. I said, we practice how to get on the bus, how to get off the bus, how to get on the plane, how to get off the plane, how to put your uniform, how to take your uniform off. We practice all the stuff that you think we not practicing, we practice. I said, and that's in addition to music, dance steps, marching. I say band camp, we used to get up. You wake up at 3 so you can brush your teeth, wash your face if you're going to shower, whatever, because we got to be on the street at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what that lady said to me? Why y'all got to be out there that early? I said, you see? I said, that's why the school you talking about, that's why they look like that. Because they not out there at 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, this is band camp. This is before school. Before school, you got to come before school? Yes. I said, and then we have to do calisthenics in the morning. So that means we have to work out for an hour. This is before breakfast. We go eat breakfast. We come back. We drill, we go eat lunch, we come back, we work on music, we go eat dinner, we come back, we drill some more, because they try to make the drilling is outside. They try to make that be in the morning and in the evening when it's cooler. It's still not cool, but it's cooler. And in the middle of the day, we inside working on music. She said, all of this? I say, yeah. So when you see an HBCU band, understand those kids. I said, and understanding they full-time students at the same time, because you can't be a part-time student and be in the band. You have to be full-time, because you have to be, that's just what it is. You have to be a full-time student. I said, so they're taking 12 hours. Some of us, like me, taking 18 hours, a full course load. And one. I say, yeah. I said, that's why they look like that. They practice an hour for 2 days a week, and we practice 40 hours a week we're practicing.
It's something to be said about the way that we present ourselves. Anaya, my oldest, she's in a group now, and I homeschool, but my kids are in different things. So she's in a group that's it's a teen leadership group, and they put together events like parties and different stuff. And so this year they're trying to focus more on raising funds for the events that they would like to have. And so one of the advisors set up a bake sale. Child, when I tell you, Naya was looking so crazy at this bake sale.
Because it probably was not done appropriately. And
my daughter is not accustomed to that.
For money, and this is the way that we're supposed to be represented. Because that's
and the kids supposed to be proud of this. So they were told to bring their baked goods individually packed. 2 advisors brought stuff that was not individually packed. I got a picture of Anaya cutting the brownies at the table, and her face. You think my faces are something? My baby got it. Honestly, she looking so crazy at these brownies because she like, you guys you're the advisors and you told us to individually pack our stuff.
You didn't follow your own direction.
You didn't follow your own directions. Then they had us come at 7:30. Me and Anaya were set up for 7:30. Girl, an advisor didn't get there till 8:20.
Then you can't be on time, and then you're not a little late. You way late.
You way late. Then when she got there, I said, we've been here since 7:30. She's like, oh, I text the group and said I'll be here at 8. What's 8:20? And when you texted, I was already here. Why would you sign up people for 7:30 when you knew you wasn't gonna be here till 8? Then she pulled out the table covers, child. Anaya could have fell out.
Welcome back, baby.
She said, you want a blue or a pink? She had them table covers like at a little kid paint party, kind of like what because Mia always painting. Those I keep for her. I lay them out on the floor, and she put all her paint stuff down, and she get the paint and make whatever mess, and we fold them back up and put them up. Here go Anaya. Now I had a fitted table cover at home. She like, now everybody can see everything behind our table, and we could have just had a fitted table cover, and we could put everything under the table, and it would look so much neater.
Like they didn't have change, child. They didn't have change. I happen to have change. I said, Miss Evie, do y'all have change? Oh no.
No.
Well, y'all ain't selling nothing today without change.
Because who's coming up here with exact change for these items? Because see, you're telling me that the stuff is individually packed. That lets me know that because most people have 20s or whatever, and you need change. Those individually packed, and they may not want to buy $20 worth of brownies. They may want 2-3 brownies. What's that? $3, $4, $5?
And then they didn't have a way to pay for debit either. The president had to use his personal cash app. But I said, what the? And Anaya, she was so frustrated because she said
they were not prepared at all.
And she was like, the advisors told us they had what we needed. She was like, had I known we didn't have a nice table cover, we didn't have, because she's my child and she does actual events. She presents herself in a certain way. Even her
standing looking crazy at these tables. Because I'm like that. If you're going to put my name on it, I'm not going to be shamed.
You know what she told me? So we have a group, like our own homeschool group. I think I told you I got kicked out of this other homeschool group before. And so anyway,
that girl, we must talk.
This gonna be off live because we gotta talk. But basically I got put out and a whole bunch of people left too because I got put out. And so they was
riding with you then. They was
riding with me. And they are now, when I say we go to book club, those are all the people in book club. So every Monday we get together with our homeschools. We just did a puppet show. I gotta send you the video, girl, because the kids did so good. They made their puppets. They helped us build the set. Like they practiced their lines. It was fire. It was everything. I was the narrator. But so this group, they very supportive. Anytime I have an event, some of them will come, half of them will come. Anytime Anaya has something, she had like a little munchkin market where she was selling her art. We always tell them. This time, I forgot to tell them. We got home. She said, "Ooh, Mama, I'm glad you ain't text the group about that bake sale because I wouldn't want them to come up there and see me at that table." I was like, "Damn, you embarrassed?"
Let me explain. And that's exactly why I just said to you what I said to you, that we practice getting on the bus, off the bus, all of this stuff. Because whenever we go somewhere, people be like, "Oh." Like it's so crucial. We have a travel uniform, meaning everybody looks uniform and together, and nobody looks crazy.
And how you gonna be proud of it if you don't do that?
Yes, because
I want the kids to be proud. They could have made more. Girl, they didn't even have signage. I said, so y'all had a meeting yesterday and y'all didn't bring no posters and stuff. Like that's the fun of buying stuff from kids. Is who are you guys? What are you raising money for?
I can't stand going to a table. So, sometimes they have stuff outside of the store, like the grocery store or whatever. You go to the store and there's some little children. I come up to the table because generally, especially if it's little black children, I don't even care. Even if I don't want it, a lot of times I'll patronize, especially if the kids.
Me too.
Like for one time, the kids had a AAU basketball league that they was raising money for. The little stuff on the table, I ain't bit more want that stuff than the man in the moon. But you have nothing on the table saying who you are. So I come up, I say, okay, well, who are you all? They tell me. Okay, well, what are you raising money for? You don't have no sign to say that either.
But they had a meeting the day before, sis. I was like, that could have been team building and signage for your table. Like, what is the matter? Nothing is common sense.
So I told him, I said, well, I don't want anything on this table. I told him, I said, I don't want anything on the table. I said, but I'm going to give y'all some money. And I just gave them some cash. Because I forget what they were selling, but it candy or something. It was something that I didn't really want. But I gave them $40. And but I did whisper, I got the grown person and pulled them to the side. I said, come here. I said, people should not have to come out here and ask you who these children are and what they're raising money for. I said, that $40 I put in there, take $10 of it before you leave this store. Go get you a poster board and a marks a lot and make you a sign and keep it. And the lady said, oh, well, we had planned. I said, well, yeah, you playing.
No, you out here and you ain't got it.
But like I just told you, reach in there. The money I just gave you, reach in there. And before you leave, you get your supplies to make you a sign. and keep the sign so that next time it's made. Nobody got time to be playing with y'all.
And
Y'all
it's not
playing games.
hard. It's not hard. You just gotta be intentional. You just gotta plan ahead. I said, no, y'all ain't got no change. The only reason they got changed was because my event had just happened.
Okay.
So I still had my cash. And so I had to let them borrow $20 of change until I left, and I wanted my $20 back.
I feel you on that. I feel you. Come on,
Like,
you
I'm gonna loan it to y'all, but don't do this again. And it's hard because the advisors aren't advising. It's like my daughter has to teach them. But also, I'm very happy with her being in the group because our base is very much black. Like our book club is black. Our, you know what I'm saying, our core, hey baby, is black.
she trying to
But
act
this
shy.
group is more diverse.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be 17 next year, and and she's the vice president. So I said, if you're frustrated with some stuff, you better get in there and make it different. You better get in there and learn how to give feedback. You better get in there. So she was like, next time we have an event, we're gonna make a list, and people are gonna choose what they're gonna bring. She's going to have to get in there and make it better. And I'm happy for that because in life, you got to learn to deal with different people. At
Mm-hmm.
least I know my baby knows how to present herself when she goes out into the world. Now she's going to have to learn how to give feedback. She's going to have to learn how to make positive change within the organization, and so it's very frustrating, but I'm liking to see what she does with the frustration because, her mama just be getting put out.
Oh Lord.
Child, as soon as I get some
Girl.
feedback, they be like, get your ass out of here. You always got some feedback. I be like, dang, I ain't think it was going to.
I'm the same way. Like I tell people all the time, I tell them, I said, y'all gonna get sick of me. I said, but I'm finna say what I got to say. This is that and other. Y'all can take it with a grain of salt or whatever. But I also pay attention to what the organization do because sometimes you give feedback and they didn't really listen, and then it comes up again what you gave feedback on, and you be like, now see, had y'all that heeded my advice, we wouldn't be going through this what we going through right now. Um, you talking about Aisha? I don't know what she used on her skin. David say, what you using on that beautiful skin?
Oh, something black on.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Same
Yeah,
here.
I
But
use
honestly, my skin routine is simple though. I don't do a lot. My best friend asked me one time. She said, "Girl, what you be using on your, like, even in college, I really didn't do a lot. Like
I
I
use
just
a facial cleanser and a face oil
yeah,
from it's a black lady that I met at a farmer's market named Sweet Indulgences. And since I found her, I just use that.
yeah.
I think I want to say it's probably some cranberry seed oil, something, and then probably some rose water. I don't know.
Oh,
But
okay.
when I find a black on somebody, that I like, I just stick with them. So I found her once at a farmer's market. Excuse me. This says rose hip oil,
Okay.
sea buckthorn oil, jojoba oil. It's like a little mixture. But Sweet Indulgences, she's in Houston. If y'all look
Okay.
her up. She is a really sweet lady. I actually found her at both of the black farmers markets, and I did videos on them. So y'all probably will see her in the videos if you go back in my channel. I found her at the Acres Homes Farmers Market, and then
Okay.
later on, I went
I
to the
didn't know they
Freedman
had their
Town.
own farmers market. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Acres Homes got their own farmers market, and then the Freedman Town Farmers Market. I went
Okay.
there. I said, look who I found.
I knew about the Freedmans. I knew about that one. I didn't know about Acres Homes. Like I said, I have quickly learned about Acres Homes. Apparently, they don't play over there and don't come in their community with no foolishness.
Facts.
They definitely are about community. Don't come in
Yep.
their community with no foolishness. But for me, my routine is so I just, like I said, I use a facial cleanser. I think a lot of the reason I don't have a lot of issues, I think some of it is genetics, but then I also think some of it is hydration. And then I also
Mm-hmm.
feel like some of it is I don't put a lot on my face. Um,
That's true. I don't
a
know if
lot
this
of this
makes a difference,
makeup
but I
and
don't even
stuff,
wear
people
makeup.
spackling their face day to day with makeup. Your skin is not designed to be covered up like that day to day. I know that. Don't get me wrong. My mama, she was a makeup wearing, but she paid for it later on, wearing a lot of makeup. And in her older age, she quit wearing makeup and her skin cleared up. But years of wearing makeup and
That's
foundation
the
and all
same with
these
me
things.
too.
Yeah, and I think when you
I
do wear
don't wear
makeup,
makeup at all, actually. Like unless I'm going to
hardly
like
ever.
a wedding
Yeah,
or
that's how I am. Especially the
my
weddings,
event
I
that
put it
just
on.
passed. Like I try if I want to be like a slightly more elevated version of myself. But
Yeah,
other than that, I really just wear lip chap and lip gloss.
I'm the same way.
If
I
I
don't
go
put
on a date, I
yeah,
might put some gloss on. Like, oh, the lips a little shinier than normal.
yeah, yeah. That's
But
I'm the
I don't
same
wear
way.
makeup at all, really. And it's not for my skin. It's just my preference, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I
my
had a best
preference.
friend in high school that wore makeup every single day. And while I thought she was a gorgeous girl without it, sometimes when she wouldn't wear it, she would look tired. But that was only because we were so used to seeing her face with makeup on, changed all the time. And I just really didn't want my regular face
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
looking
I
like
think
I'm
people
washed
can't
out and
get used
tired.
to you. People can get used to you looking a certain way. That's why when people see people like Oprah and stuff without makeup, granted they do put a lot on Oprah. I think they put too much on her, but hey, that's her stylist, that's her business. But I think that's why people, oh my God, look how bad she look without.
Like that's
You
her
know,
face. Y'all not even used to her regular face. Also, people age. I think it's hard because they don't want to age these days. Like
mm-mm.
they doing so much work, to their face to stay looking, but you're supposed to age. You're supposed to age gracefully. It's a blessing to age, actually.
It is.
And you're
It
supposed
is.
to try to age gracefully. If you take good care of yourself, then you won't have to work so hard against, the aging.
Mm-hmm.
But I
I
just
think
see
you're
when I
right.
find something I like. I think also gardening. I will say when I got here, I used to go to District Market. That's a black owned grocery store, or whatever. Like after a year of being here, or something, he was like, "Man, you losing weight. You looking good." I didn't notice. I don't know if I lost weight or whatever. I do think I'm slimmer in the face a little bit, but I wasn't doing anything except in San Diego. I only had a patio to garden on, and here I have a
You have
house.
more.
I
Yeah.
have a yard, so which means I'm eating more of what I'm growing, and it means I'm moving my body. You know what I'm saying? More to work on the garden. So I
Ooh,
think you kind of naturally look better, feel better, healthier when you working
I
on
think so
growing
too.
your food and eating what you're growing,
Also, the
because
state.
when they pick food for the grocery store, the nutrients go down and down and down every day between when they pick it and when you buy it.
Yeah,
But if
and
I'm
then
picking my greens tonight and cooking them in the morning,
yeah, I'll go even further and say this. I think some people have forgotten that your body is designed to sweat as well. That is a part of a cleansing mechanism of cleansing out your pores. So
mhm,
you may not like sweating, and these people who stay up on the air all day, wear makeup all day, they never sweat. Then okay, your pores are not being cleansed either. So that's that you can
they're
you can try
clogged
to
up.
fight. You can fight nature if you want to, but so I think at least for me, because I know I sweat probably more than the average person. Because in the summertime, I'll sweat through some clothes like that.
Hmm.
I don't see me. I'll be out there sitting on the porch talking, and sweat just be running down. I get it from my mama. My mama sweated like that. Like it's just I don't know toxins stay with me long, especially in the summertime. But yeah, I think that's part of it too. Just I try not to. I try to be as natural as possible. Also, a lot of this makeup, they have some makeup now that is a little bit better. Like they say, it's made out of these natural minerals. But for so
Hmm.
long, so much of that makeup was all this.
They put
I
toxic
don't
stuff
know
in
what was in it, but a lot of toxic stuff. And I just didn't want to smear my face or my body with that stuff.
it.
Like even
Hmm.
growing up, I used to, man, when I found out about, that you could just buy those blocks of shea butter, I found that out when I was, I don't know, mama found that out when I was in junior high or whatever. And when it's just pure shea butter, I used to would just rub that on. I didn't use stuff with a lot of toxin.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
I
guy
love
that
me
had a
some shea
store.
butter.
It was a black guy. He was African and he had a store and he would import shea butter. He had different ones. He had the white one, the yellow one, the different
Mm-hmm.
one. And he had other things too. Like you could get a lot of different African herbs, ashwagandha, and all these different, because he had African black soap and these things. And when my mother found that man, a lot of the skincare we would just get from him. And a lot of that stuff, girl, it wasn't even really it'd be something he done imported, and he just got it wrapped in some wax paper or something. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's the
this is
best
such and
stuff.
such, and this is this, and take it and do this with it. And he knew how to tell you how to do. But yeah, ever since then I've kind of kept it real,
Just
I
keep it
don't.
simple. I don't do a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, because my best friend asked me that one time, how do you keep it? I said, girl, but see, my best friend, she's a nurse, and I tell her all the time, meaning she works in a hospital. If you know anything about hospitals, they keep hospitals cold for a reason. It's to help keep down bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the only method they use, but that's one of the methods. And so therefore she had gotten to a point where she wasn't really exercising and sweating that much. I said, girl, you need to do something where you're gonna sweat. And I said, and you need to stay hydrated. She had stopped really drinking water. I said,
Hydration is a huge
you
thing.
have to stay hydrated. Your hair suffers, everything suffers when you're not hydrated. It's just crazy. But yeah, I think sometimes people are just doing too much. A lot of this stuff, I wonder about these girls, all of these edges, all of this on your forehead that you slicking that stuff down. That stuff going into your brain, I feel like. You got all that stuff.
The hardest thing for us as Black people is them relaxers, child. Them relaxers was really doing a hole and making people sick, and now it's coming out. It's lawsuits
Class
and
action
everything
lawsuits.
because
Class
that's how
action
they target
lawsuits.
us, trying to straighten that hair out. So really, I think a lot of our health is about eliminating things that we didn't know were unhealthy for us. Like in my house, the detergent is Black owned and natural. The soaps we use are Black owned and natural. And the more you eliminate things that are, affecting you
A lot of things
harshly,
weren't broken and we tried to fix them. Or just like all of this,
make them more convenient or produce them faster, easier,
they come
cheaper.
out with all of this little stuff, and I be like, okay, the world has made it all these years without all this extra stuff. What do I need this for? What is this for? I ain't been using this. Now, I'm not saying they don't come out with some good things,
Good
but
stuff.
some stuff
Yeah.
is just too much. It's too much. And like you said, convenience or, just whatever it is, it's too much. Just like my great grandmother, this is going to sound crazy to some people. She never used the way people use Lysol and these things. She never used that. She used vinegar, and she would take lemons and stuff like that,
That's what
and
I do.
clean her kitchen. And her kitchen was clean as a pin. You
That's what
couldn't
I
beat
still do.
me too. And so
Vinegar, orange peels, and oregano.
when my friend
Or
comes and
alcohol,
be
orange peels,
like,
oregano.
oh, they done come out with this and they done come out with that. I said, what I'm using all that for? Oh, what you clean your kitchen with? Vinegar. But see, let me say this. She was raised in one of those households. They put a cap full of bleach in their bath water. See, I'm sorry. When you feel like you need to bleach your own ass, that is a level of, and she didn't understand it until I told her. I said, have you ever heard it when they said that Black people, like way back in the day, white people would say that Black people are dirty and things of this nature, and a lot of the very racist soap ads that would come out, and it'd be like, wash your darkie with this and all this.
Mm-hmm.
I said that was a systematic way of telling us that we are dirty when we're the ones that created soap and created
And
running water.
bathing. We taught them how to bathe.
They come up with that and they tell you how dirty you are, and you internalize that to the point where you're putting bleach in your bath water and you have no business. Bleach. Now I'm gonna speak for women, not necessarily men. You're putting that bleach down in your bath water and you're getting down in your bath water. I have news for you. Your lady parts
Are open.
that's considered internal. Bleach is not meant to be used on internal parts of your body. As a matter of fact, it's not intended for you to leave it on your skin long. You're supposed to wash that off or use gloves. That's what they,
Yeah,
it
you ain't
says
supposed
in
to
the
really have it on your skin
it
directly like
says in
that.
the directions
I've
wear
seen a lot of
gloves.
people say they put a cap full of bleach water,
And
bleach
you're
in their
putting that
water.
in your
And
bath
I don't know
water.
where it came from, but I did see someone say, and I didn't do no research on it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Somebody said it was for a skin condition or something. I personally try to eliminate the amount of chemicals that I use in my home anyway. So let alone that's for cleaning the house, let alone cleaning my butt. So I never
You
really looked
can't
into it
pay
because I was
me.
never gonna be open to putting. I don't even need to know why y'all we putting bleach in our bath water.
You
I
can't
can't. I
pay
can't
me.
do it.
You can't pay me to get down in something. I don't care if it is just a cap. You can't get me to get down in something and um that says in the direction itself, it says limit the amount of contact to your skin. You want me to get down in and talk about bathing? But like I said, I believe that's like an internalized thing where black people internalize that we're like inherently filthy when that was conditioning, you know. When you
I
take
didn't
when you
know where
take
it came
when you
from.
take 2 or 3 or 400 years of people constantly telling you you're dirty,
You're
you're dirty,
dirty.
you're dirty, you're dirty, you're dirty, you know what I'm saying? All the way through slavery, 400 years of telling you you're dirty, you're dirty. And then, like I said, systematically beating out of you your oral traditions where they teach you about bathing habits and things. So we lose our history and then somebody else tells us we're dirty. And then they do soap ads that makes it seem like white is being clean and black means dirty. You see what
Mhm.
I'm saying? That's the internalization. Now, like I said, maybe somebody was using it for a skin ailment, but who missed the detail? Because you have no skin ailment, but you still putting that in your bath water. So who forgot to tell you that little detail?
That
They
that was
forgot
what
to
that
tell
was
you.
for.
Yeah, they forgot to tell you something. But when I told my bed, just like she puts bleach in her dishwater. Okay, let me in. And then it was
A
so
lot of
funny
people
to
do
me.
do that too. I
It was
don't,
so
but a
funny
lot of
to
people do.
me that she said, oh, you don't put bleach in your bath in your dishwater. I said, well, I understand how soap works, so I don't really feel the need. Do you know what she said to me? She said, what do you mean? I said, oh, you don't know how soap works. So I had to explain to her how soap works, and I'll give you the quick version. So how soap works is you take water, you mix it with soap, you get the suds right. Soap basically encapsulates the dirt. That way, when you rinse those dishes, it rinses it away. Now, if you want to disinfect your dishes or whatever, if you feel like all that's necessary, that's fine. You can do that if you like. But there are ways to disinfect without chemicals, i.e., I have a dishwasher. My dishwasher has a steam, is the last little step. It steams them.
Mm-hmm.
Steam kills bacteria. You don't, and that's just water.
I just boiled my stuff.
Yeah, you can
I
boil it.
boiled
You can,
stuff if I felt like it needed an extra.
and like I told her, I said, I don't, she has this thing about, I want to kill the bacteria. Kill it for what? As long as it ain't on my plates, as long as it washes down the sink, why do I care about killing it? It's that it's in the drain. I don't live in the drains. I don't go down in my drain. It's down
That's
there.
true.
So
Because it
why
sounds like she's thinking if it don't die, it's still on there. But it's like it's
you
still
rinsed it
you
off?
washed it off.
Yeah. And it's like, but like I said, it's a lot of people don't understand the mechanics of how things work. Like people who wash their food with bleach. I'm sure you've seen that. I saw a girl washing some chicken. She putting bleach on the chicken, washing it. I have seen, I said to myself, but some people, they just live in these households where they don't feel clean unless they use the most caustic stuff.
I had never
Bleach,
seen nobody put bleach on the food.
it was a chick and they clowned that chick. They clowned her for a while and she steadily defended. She said, this is the way my mama taught me how to do it. But understand that your mama still may not be right. You're not supposed to be ingesting that bleach. And I know she gonna cook the chicken, but what happens to, I don't know exactly what happens. Do it cook out?
I wouldn't trust it.
I wouldn't either. I don't think it
Mm-mm.
requires all that.
It doesn't.
I
Especially if
don't,
you cook your when you cook your meats well, like clean them.
yeah.
Some people
And
don't
like
like
I
to
said,
wash
once
their
again,
meat, and I
why
don't
do
mean
you have
wash
to?
with soap or Clorox. I just mean, you could put you some vinegar, or put you some lemon juice or some,
That's what I was
rinse
gonna
the
say.
chicken
Why
off.
not use other edible things like limes, lemons? Why
Yeah,
not use
that's what I
that?
use.
Why
I
not
use
use that?
and then rinse it good, and then do what you're gonna do with it.
David said the bleach get baked in.
It's bleach flavor,
Oh, is that what that is? Ooh, I
and
like
just
that
add a
bleach
little
kick. I
flavor
like
to
that
it.
bleach kick to my food. Ooh, bleach make your eyes water.
It
Now,
say
like
it
I
tastes
said,
clean.
don't get me wrong. In my granny's bathroom, yes, ma'am, she believed in bleaching the hell out of the bathroom. She believed in that, the toilet,
I feel
all.
like the bathroom is the main place where I will allow some bleach because it do be
Yeah.
funky in there. There's a lot of germs in there. We let out a lot up in there.
And I can understand that, but my granny would have her gloves on. She would have a little mask over her face so she didn't breathe. She would even open the window a little bit so some of those fumes, because those fumes in a bathroom can get kind of, depending on how
Also, I
you
think
use
it is important to say, to mention, like, I think a lot of stuff we do, we'd be like, well, my granny did it, well, my da 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 did it. Well, number one, products have changed a lot since our grannies were using them. Since then they've been wanting to make the stuff faster, make it cheaper, make it so some stuff is not. It
it.
was
That's
more
the
healthy
same as
when
what
your
your
granny was
granny was
using
using.
it. At the
Mhm.
same time, we didn't know a lot of the stuff too. Some of these tests hadn't been done when Granny was using it, and stuff like that. So it's like just because your Granny was Granny, okay, we two generations from Granny now. We can still learn more things. It's not we can't honor Granny. We can't learn some stuff from Granny, but we can acknowledge that Granny might not have known certain things. She might not have had access to other
Yeah,
things she could have
yeah,
used or more
yeah,
natural ways of doing it at the time. Just because
definitely.
Granny was doing it don't make it right. Except for canning. I definitely wish I could have learned canning from my granny. Wouldn't nobody be able to tell me nothing about my granny recipes.
No. David talking about the bleach take all the hair off the chicken.
David, we got to get you on the live.
Oh yeah, because he will cut up.
David need to come up and cut up with us.
Yeah, he will cut up. But
That
yeah,
would be
you're right.
fun.
A lot of these products are not the same. And then I'm gonna touch on this too. Sometimes your granny just might, because everybody elders and ancestors is not the brightest. I got some older people in my family. I don't, just because they do, you know what I mean? Everybody, just because they was doing it don't mean that you should do that.
And I
You
can go
know?
even further and say that every old person ain't even an elder.
No,
Just because
no.
you old don't mean you
They
know
just
stuff.
old.
Doesn't mean you're wise. It doesn't mean you study.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you want to impart any type of knowledge on the generation coming after you. You could just be an old person
Yeah, you
and not
just
an elder.
old. Yeah, you good for kicking and laughing with, but wisdom and stuff, we gonna leave that to somebody else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cause I got people in my family like that. They're not bad people. It's just
Like you're not an elder, you just an old person.
no,
And that's
you didn't.
okay. Like we
You
love you,
haven't.
but you don't
You,
have no knowledge to
you haven't learned
impart.
from any of your trials and tribulations. You just
Right.
here.
You're just getting older.
Yeah, that's
Which you
crazy.
can't help. If you still here, you're gonna get older, but that does not make you an elder.
So when it get cold, do you have to do anything with the quail? I know I heard you say in the video that they're kind of cold hardy.
So what I'm going to do with the quail, I don't think it's required, but I don't know if I've shown y'all that I make like a little cover for the front of the coop when it rains. I just made it out of a shower curtain and some of the Velcro strips that you can get from
Okay.
Amazon. I'm gonna do that when it gets cold, but there's two open sides on the sides. I'm just gonna make some smaller ones and cover those ones up too. From what
Okay.
I've read, they're super cold hardy. But you want to kind of maybe give them hiding spaces, block the wind. I already
Yeah.
use like a deep mulch method. It's probably not mulch. That's not the word. But I put a
Yeah.
deep
I mean, but I
layer of
get
pine
that their
straw.
bedding. Yeah, their little bedding stuff.
is kind of deep. So that also is supposed to help, them keep warm. And then also I'm
Yeah.
gonna be adding hot peppers to their food.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
I already add like oregano to keep them healthy. Every once in a while, I put apple cider vinegar in the water. But just like chickens, they can't taste heat,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's good for them and can help their
yeah,
body temperatures.
yeah.
So
It's
that's
also
all
good.
I'm gonna do.
It's good for their circulation, just like for us too. The peppers help with our circulation too. It helps with theirs.
So just making
David
sure they got
say,
food and water, and breaking the wind. You don't want them just in straight up
yeah, just
wind.
yeah. David said put up a solar light if they stop laying. And I wanted to ask you that: have they stopped laying in the cooler weather, or are they still laying?
They still laying every day.
Oh, okay, good. David say birds don't like to be hot. David has chickens as well. Um,
I think I'm probably gonna let them. I ain't even gonna solar light. I'm just gonna let them take a break.
yeah. But yeah, I feel you. That's probably what I would do. I probably, like you say, I just would kind of block the most of the wind, and if they have a deep enough bedding, I think they'll be fine. I figure they didn't need no little coats or nothing because I've seen chickens in some pretty cold climates, and I
I
would
see
think,
chickens walking
but
around in snow.
and they seem to be okay as long as they can go back to their cool where their beds is. What's up, GT Junior?
They have a
Long as they can,
dry spot to go to, like dry
yeah,
out of the wind.
they
If they
be
could,
okay.
yeah. So
Because
I
I
think they're
think
gonna
if they
do
get
that.
wet, then that would be a problem. But long as they dry, they should be okay.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
pretty cool though. They look so fat in there. They was down in there so fluffy. How you say you accidentally culled Falcon? How did this happen?
Okay, Falcon had 3 babies that looked just like him. And
Oh.
boys, and one was a girl. And it was a time where somebody got beat up. Maybe Falcon got beat up, but I thought it was one of the newer ones.
Uh-huh.
Check the bottom. And beat up, beat up, beat up. And I was like, bro, you got to go. I can only keep one male. And but then I realized that all of my quail were hens afterwards.
Y'all hear that, fellas? She done got rid of all the men. David, I
I got
wasn't
rid of
tripping.
all the
I
men.
wasn't tripping on that. You don't have to apologize. It ain't. I don't. That stuff like that don't bother me because I know autocorrect and all these things. It'll get you every time in these YouTube streets. He was apologizing for misspelling my name. Uh,
Oh.
GT Junior showed up. He said his chickens are in the cold. How cold is it, GT?
And what do you do, GT, for your chickens? Do you do anything to keep them warm? Because y'all know this is my first year, so I've almost made a year as a
As a
quail
quail.
owner. So we haven't gone through a winter yet. I'm very excited, but I feel like we done good, except for accidentally culling Falcon. So now I have to get new eggs because I have
Woo!
only girls.
He say
This,
it's -2 degrees. You know he in Alaska, but
oh,
still,
that's right.
that's hot in Alaska,
I don't see how you do it in Alaska, but more power to
baby.
you. I'm
When he
definitely a sun baby.
when he reports these temperatures, I go get my jacket
Right,
because
I'm told just hearing a -2.
yeah,
So what kind of prep? I would love to see. We got to have some guests on here. I would love to know like what kind of prep you do for the cold, or do you just let everything die out and then try to extend your growing season by having
I know
greenhouses
GT
or
GT has an indoor growing space as well though, so he grows quite a few things in his indoor space. He has put a
mm.
lot of time and effort into it, I assure you.
I'm gonna check
When
out your page, GT,
yeah, and go see
your
the
channel. I mean,
things, yeah, the things that he has put in place. It takes effort.
I could imagine. The how short the growing season is. You got to be intentional, so that a lot of people can learn from you and how you making away in such. I would say it's extreme temperatures and growing that food. That's
But you
amazing.
also
When
if
I started growing food, my dad was like
so amazed. He was like, your grandpa used to make corn grow in New York. It's hard to make corn. It's a short growing season. And the corn would just be growing because your grandpa, you got it like him. I'm like, okay, thank you, Daddy. Yeah, I need to learn all that little stuff, all them little tricks and different things. Because growing in New York is different than Houston.
You telling me this now, Pops? I needed you to tell me this.
When I tell you, sis.
But it's one of my viewers is from New York, and she either lives in Harlem or Brooklyn. It's one of the two. And she has she grows behind her because, most people in New York, even in New York City, I'm not talking about upstate New York. Most people in New York City, even if you own your condo or whatever, you still probably won't have a yard because you live in some type of building. Right. So she was growing in the alley behind her. I don't know if it was a brownstone or what. It wasn't an apartment, but it was, that type of building. Because it looked like behind it looked like Living Single. You know how it was on Living Single when they had the fire escape and the bricks and stuff. But she was growing in the alley, and girlfriend had it popping off in New York. And I just found it inspirational. She wasn't the only one growing. Some other people in her building were growing too. But they were so respectful in the community because you think in New York that they would go back there and steal that stuff. They didn't fool with them latest stuff. They left their stuff alone.
I love that. You can find a way. That's all you need to know is that you can find a way. Like I'm trying to, even on my Instagram page, my little homestead life, just encourage people that no matter where you are, you can grow something. Don't think it has to look like what everybody else has. For me, for instance, if I thought I had to have acres to start growing, I still wouldn't have no food right now. Exactly. Because all I got is a backyard. But before this, all I had was a balcony, and I still believed.
David
and you can grow at your levels too, The camera.
So David asked, "Is this a dog?" Yes, it is a dog. Look at the camera, boo-boo. There you go. Hi. But this is Indy, and he asked what kind of dog it is. So Indy is, can you stop kissing me? Indy is half pit bull and half I think border collie. This was a accidental puppy. This was not a purposeful puppy, but I saw the father one time and he looks like a border collie, but she acts like a border collie, but if you look at her coloring, she kind of looks like a border collie, just doesn't have long hair. So she's the most border collie looking of them. All the rest of them look like pit bulls. When I walk them, trust me, nobody bothers me.
People are scared of pit bulls, but it depends on who raised them.
Yeah, mine are generally sweet. So, but you ever seen a pit bull that's super lovey-dovey, will go up to anyone? Mine are not like that. They won't just walk up to you. They will look at you and make sure that I'm okay. And if I'm okay, then
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But they aren't they aren't like run up to everybody and go like if somebody like my neighbor, you could walk in her house right now and steal her pit bull and the dog will go right with you. They're not going with you. They're not gonna go with you. If anybody come in here,
I feel like Teddy would go.
I've had dogs like
Teddy is only effective as a dog if you can't see him. So we've taught him to bark when people come to the door. But if we were to open the door, he's going to be super friendly with you. So we got to keep you from the other side door. I'll be like, hold on, my dog trying to get out. Girl trying to act like he going to do.
Yeah.
Teddy ain't going to do nothing but lick you, jump on you, love you. But from the front of the door, he sound like he might do something.
Barking and stuff.
He be, who at the door? Soon as you open it, baby, he trying to lick you. He want to be your friend. I say you only affected from the outside of the door.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he don't keep the critters out the yard. This is the friendly. But we did name him Teddy Bear Ebuna, so that probably was our fault. You don't name nobody no Teddy Bear. Well, Bear was his name when we got him, but I was like, well, we gonna name him Teddy Bear. Ebona. Like Barry gonna be his middle name, you know.
Yeah.
And then my mama be calling him Teddy B girl, like he cool. So I said when I get a farm, I'm gonna have to get a new dog, another dog anyway, an outside dog that can protect the livestock and the different stuff. Cause Teddy ain't doing it. Teddy is for emotional support.
David said he loved pits and Rottweilers. I do too. The part that bothers me is when you have irresponsible pet owners. I saw a video on Instagram the other day and it really, really bothered me. It was a beautiful pit, beautiful, but you could tell the wrong owner had it and the dog got out and it bit the mailman. And I know they probably killed that dog. I know
the dog gets in trouble for it.
Yeah, because the owner didn't understand that either number one, that was too much dog for you, or because all pits don't have the same personality. I don't believe in these things where they say, oh, pits they're crazy. Hey, y'all playing
aggressive.
Yeah, they just jump and they say, oh, they're crazy and they'll snap. Just 1 minute they're cool and the next minute. No, y'all are not reading the dog, because most of the time before I see a dog go at somebody, they gave you signs. You ignored them. Like I saw this video of this guy. He keeps going up to the dog and it's a pit and the dog wasn't saying anything. See, pits get a bit bad rap because they don't always growl at you. They don't always do those things.
But they'll pause. Like they'll back up. Yeah, but they, like you said, they'll show signs. Yeah, they have anxiety or nervousness just like we do.
The dog started cowering, trying to get away from the guy. The guy keeps approaching it. I'm like, see, it's telling you right now he ain't liking that. It's just like a human. If you walk up to a human and they shy away from you, give them space. Don't keep, because see, certain humans
then it's like you still
certain humans is gonna run. Other humans is gonna punch you in the throat, and dogs. It don't even matter what breed.
Don't punch you in the throat.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. As soon as I said that, they start. And then see, a lot of people see my dog. My dogs are very vocal when they play. They growl and do all that. However, I know them well enough. I know when they know each other. They're not. That wasn't aggressive. But I know some people don't. They don't know. My dogs are very vocal, like they make noise, but none of it is, but believe it or not, like if mine are about to get aggressive, they actually get quiet. That's how I know. And I know to tell them, hey, chill. You know what I'm saying? And if I tell them chill, they chill. But yeah, it's something else. You can't see the comments, can you?
Nope.
Yeah, ears do tell you a lot. The ears, they tell you a whole lot.
Yeah, animals gonna let you know. It's the problem. I think the problem is that humans, we don't respect body autonomy for other people, for children, and then that goes on down to animals too. It just depends on who you're dealing with, how dangerous it is that you're ignoring their body autonomy. Animals also have the right to not want to be petted and stuff. I can't tell y'all how many videos I've seen where people get mad when the dog snaps or something. Like, just because it's a dog, just because it's cute, just like celebrity, just because I'm a celebrity don't mean I'm always have the energy or the desire to be touched by strangers, to engage or perform because you think I'm cute. Or whatever. Like, dogs have the right to not want to be touched, just like children have the right to not want to be touched. But we ain't ready for that conversation.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I don't even make my kids. I don't force them to give hugs and all that stuff. How people be like, like if you don't feel comfortable enough to hug them, don't.
No.
Like,
and when people do children,
you can speak. I don't let my children not speak. But other than that, you are not just allowed, or you don't have a right to their body. And I feel it's the same with animals. And when we don't respect that, they snap on your ass, and that's so bad. Like, like David said, the ears was going. I backed up. I growled, or even snakes too. People act like snakes. Every snake I done seen that ran away from me, I'd be like, wait. Come back. People act like snakes are so aggressive. Snakes do not chase people. No, they don't. Y'all walking up on them snakes,
I've never
or you're
experienced that.
exposing their
I've never
hiding
experienced that.
spaces. You expose a
Yeah,
snake hiding space, and now they feel unsafe, and that's why they snapping at you.
yeah,
But snakes
yeah.
don't even chase people. They be
I've never
halfway
experienced
down the
that. When
street.
I see a snake, it goes the other way. When I see it goes the other way.
Every time I've ever seen a snake in person, it's gone the other way. But people swear snakes are aggressive. I'm like, no, I ain't never seen an aggressive snake before. And snakes definitely let you know before they snap. But if you don't wanna,
Yeah,
pay attention, that's your bad. Then it's not the snake's fault. Don't blame the snake. Don't blame the dog because you don't know how to take no for an answer.
exactly.
You got that problem in your regular life too.
Because I find a lot of times people be like, you don't know how many times I have seen people be like, "Oh, I'm afraid of these snakes and stuff like this." And like I said, every time, but see, I'm very respectful of snakes too. When I see one, I don't generally just walk up on that sucker. I usually back away, and when I back
Have a
away,
healthy respect.
they they go on. Now I be wondering, what are people doing that the stuff is just,
They be trying to catch it. They be trying to catch it, pet it.
well, you deserve to be bitten, ma'am or sir. You deserve to be bitten.
You're
Like,
asking to be bitten. You just serving yourself
yeah,
up on a platter and then want to be mad at the snake. Like the snake done said, it done hissed, it done backed up, it done coiled up and lifted his head up. Like what how many signs am I gonna give you before I got to bite you? Like to make you
yeah,
get away from me. Especially if a dog I feel if animals are scared, they snap more than people do.
I
So it's
agree.
not always aggression. It's like you're unfamiliar. I'm scared. So I'm trying to get you up off of me. But then we want to say snakes are aggressive. Like, stop walking up on it. Hey, girl, you on here twice?
Me,
You got
in
two angles.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, because I'm
we
finna
traveling.
moving. Yeah, we moving. We on the move, people. Y'all should have seen. Let me. I'm gonna turn this. Can I turn this around? I'm gonna figure that out in a minute. But girl, when I tell you, people be so crazy. Just like when people say, "Oh, I hate cats. I hate cats," and I get it. I get the like certain people like animals who run up to you, and cats aren't always like that. Cats can be very like, I don't need you, you need me, that doesn't bother me. But when people say, oh, a cat will attack you, yeah, you probably cornered it and it lashed out at you. You know what I mean?
Thought that cats were more aggressive. I thought what you said, which is that their personalities are not as lovey all the time. Like a
No.
dog, every time you come home, he gonna be excited if he love you. Like, hey, when you ready to play, the dog ready to play. Cats are
Yeah,
kind of like, girl, I'm gonna play with you when I feel like it. You can rub me
exactly.
if I say so, which is okay. It's
Exactly.
like a personality thing that not everybody gets, but aggressive, I
Yeah.
don't think so. Cats are
Because
another thing. They be like, if they go
yeah,
back
they
up,
cats will
like
let you know before they usually will. Now sometimes they do slap your ass. They will. But you probably was
but
doing
you
something
did
stupid.
something first.
But
We got to take accountability now.
yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's like, and to me, when people just need an animal to be all over them and run up to them, to me, that's a personal thing. Because I don't need that all the time. Like, I don't, sometimes I want to be left alone. Like, Indy, she really was getting on my nerves. But I have gotten to the point where I understand she's the most like a border collie. Border collies love their human and they want to be under you 24/7. That's just, they're like that. And you just have to just, that's how they are. And if you ask them
Mm-hmm.
to be anything different, and to a
They
point, humans
can't.
are like that too. Because they'll lay up under you. Oh my God, they'll lay up under you till the world come to an end. And you be like, can I have a little space? No, you cannot. That's actually what I like about cats. Is a lot of times they will leave you the F alone. They will leave you
Mm-hmm.
alone sometimes. Now some cats though, like my Sandy, which she's gone, but She died some years back. Sandy was the kind of cat. Oh my God, Sandy. People who didn't like cats would meet Sandy and be like, "Yeah, I'm taking this cat home," because
Right?
she would lay in your lap. She would snuggle with you. She would, she was that kind of cat. She was so lovable. She was never aggressive, never nothing. She just, it was crazy. She was the sweetest. And then she was black too. So a lot of people, oh, I'm scared of black cats. But she
That's a
wasn't.
whole nother thing. And it depends on your culture too, because I know in some places cats are like a sacred animal.
Yes,
I think it just depends
Egyptians
on how you grew up.
revered Egyptians like pharaohs and stuff. They revered
Hmm.
cats and kept
And you
cats.
know what's
And
so funny? But in Nigeria, they don't like cats.
no, I don't think they really like animals too much in Nigeria. Period. To be honest.
I will say most animals are kept as live. Like if it's
Yeah,
food, they'll
yeah,
keep it. Daddy
yeah.
loves his dog. I can't say that's for everybody, but
No, it's
ever
not
since
for
I
because
met
there's a
Daddy,
Nigerian guy
he
that I watch
had it.
online,
And some
and
Nigerian people eat dog too.
yeah, I mean,
And they
a
be,
lot.
and then the people who eat dog really be scared of them. Like I'm like, girl, do you think they know? You think they know
Yeah,
you ate a dog
yeah,
before?
probably. Yeah,
So that's
probably.
another
So
part of it.
you eat something. Well, I guess that's like people eat gators. I guess people are scared of gators. I don't know
But I'm
but
scared of gators because of the strength of a gator, not because I ate some gator last night.
true. That's true. You're right. That is different because gators can definitely kill you.
Whether you ate them or not.
Yeah,
One swipe of the
definitely,
tail, baby, and a drag in the water, you out.
definitely, definitely.
I
But
think having a healthy respect
I'm
for
gonna
all
turn y'all
things.
so y'all can see these green fun shirt. What I'm talking about? Can y'all see them?
Ooh, they're looking
Baby,
good.
these greens ain't playing, and these is turnip greens. I've never grown turnip greens like the leaves this big.
I
Um,
haven't grown turnip greens at all. I'm gonna try that next year.
do
I
you
don't
like
think I have some seeds. Can I
do
still
you
plant them? I can still
yeah,
plant them. I
it's
have
better for
some
you.
seeds.
Yeah, it's better for you to plant them now. Hold on one second.
Cause I think I have a friend that we do Kwanzaa together every year. Child, she changed the type of green she want every year. The first year she told my oh girl, can you bring some I brought collard green. She told me, oh, is these the green? I said, you must have meant mustard greens. Maybe you meant mustard greens. Then the next time she brought the greens and it was turnip greens, I said, is that the ones that you wanted?
You
So this
know,
year I'm growing mustards for her.
you know what? Let me be all the way real with you. I can taste the difference between all of them, but I know certain people are very specific as to what greens they
They
want.
like, yeah.
But in
I
all
haven't had the
honesty,
turnip
I
greens.
like them. I like them mixed, me personally. But I didn't start eating them like that till I got grown.
See, my mama said I should mix them. So I'm gonna ask you, do you do like okay, because right now I got mustard and collards. So I'm thinking if I mix them, then I would have my collards starting to cook in way before I add the mustard in there because I feel like mustards take way less time to cook down than
Yes,
collards
ma'am.
do, right? They're
Mustard.
tougher.
So
The collards are tougher.
when my neighbor does his greens, he will not mix all three. He will mix turnips and mustards together because they cook similarly.
They're tender.
Yeah, they're more tender than collards. But yes, I agree with you, and that's the way I do mine. I put my collards on, and when they get about halfway done, I put the mustards and the turnips in. That's because I don't like my stuff being mush. Now, some people
Right.
like their greens cooked to death. If you like them cooked to death, put them all in there for 6 hours, and chow down. However you like to get it, how you live it. But
Yeah.
I don't like my greens crunchy because somebody say you must like them crunchy. No, they don't be crunchy, but you
I
do
like
have to
it somewhere
chew.
in
I don't
between.
like
I
to
still want
drink
to
my
chew
greens
to
through
it.
a
Yeah.
straw. Like some
I
people be
still
doing
want
too
some
much.
substance to it.
I feel like sometimes they be cooking. Can I be all the way real with you? Some Nigerians to be cook their greens way too long for me. They cook
Yeah.
it down to mush, and I'm like, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Chat, what
But
y'all cooking for Christmas? Or Kwanzaa or both? Or the holidays or Hanukkah? What else? I don't know what else. New Year's. Oh, I can't hear you now. You muted.
My bad.
Okay,
It
there
be
you
so
go.
much. Let me read these comments. Jana say I don't do snakes. They go their way, I go mine, more or less. That's I feel the same way. I
But
don't.
that's what I'm saying.
I
They go
did.
their
I
way.
can't even lie though. I did have a tiny. He was about the size of a pencil, a garter snake when I was a little kid. But he was so little. He was only like 6 inches long, and he was about that thick. But I didn't keep him long. I kept him for like 2 days, and then I let him go because I was so young. I didn't even know what snakes ate. So
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
like, he done went 2 days without eating. Let me let him go.
Right.
Because
Let him
I
go
don't know
find
what he
his
eat.
food.
He seemed okay though. He was still moving, and he would climb
These
all in
snakes
my
don't
hand and
eat
stuff.
every day.
But
They
yeah, I
normally
didn't know
don't eat
what he
every
ate. And then my mama was like, she wasn't scared of him, but she was like, girl, you can't just be keeping him. I had put some holes in a little Tupperware thing. And she was like, no, that you don't keep no animal like that. And we not buying nothing for this snake. So yeah, I turned him loose in the yard.
That sound about right.
Yeah, I turned him loose. But I really hadn't
Not
even.
had a snake, but I be trying to get the garden snakes to stay in my garden, but they don't ever stay.
Yeah, I think for the most part they're good for the garden. My broccoli is starting to look good, y'all. Oh, turn. Can y'all see the broccoli?
Mm-hmm. They do look good.
Yeah, look at that collard back there. That's not a regular collard. That's a it's something else. It's Vates or it's something else. It's not a regular collard. It's pretty though. But
Mhm.
and then all these little mustards. Y'all see all the seeds I threw down?
I need to throw me some more seeds down.
Yeah, all of that green you see, those I just threw them. I got to get a lot of that pine straw out of there. Is the pine straw not gonna hurt it? But I'm still gonna get some of it. I'm still gonna get some of it out of there.
Well, I'm glad we got together today. We can get back more regular now that the birthdays and all the things. You done muted yourself again.
Yeah, cause remember, y'all, I'm having some work done, and so I'm the
Oh, they
dudes up.
loud.
And they up under the house, and I'm hollering, and they hollering, and we hollering.
Well, I'm about to go find something to eat anyway.
All right
So
then.
I guess we can probably wrap it up. But if you available
Yeah.
on Sunday again, I'll be here.
All right. Well, that works, girl. I'm gonna have to look. You're gonna have to tell me when you free or something, cause I got to hear about this homeschooling and how you got put out of this group.
Talk to you about that. We definitely got to get on the phone.
Yeah, yeah. But
Child, they
y'all,
keep me
until
out.
next time, we appreciate y'all and thank y'all so much for coming. Thank you, Janet. I'm glad that you think that they look good. I think they look good too. But till next time, y'all, we'll try not to be gone this long. We both had some stuff going on and we just wanted to kind of get that stuff out of the way so that we could proceed. But um until next time, we will see you guys later. And you know what? I'm gonna have to you know what? Y'all let me get in the house. I'm gonna have to end the stream from in the house. I can't end
Oh,
it from my
man.
phone
Thank you for joining
because I be doing too much. I be different screens.
us.
And we'll be on Aisha's channel next week, y'all. If you're not following Aisha, follow Aisha. Ooh, it's two of me.
All right, y'all. Aisha, you got anything you want to say?
Thank y'all for joining. We'll see y'all next time.
All right, we'll see you later.
Peace.
Bye.